What's up, guys? Welcome in. We got a late night surprise stream going. Gonna keep it chill though. It's late. Got a late night surprise stream going. Gonna keep it chill though. It's late. We all got a little insomnia. Watch a undereducated hick from Alabama perform an intellectual takedown of Christian logic. I think y'all like it. Y'all all find it very entertaining. But more importantly, we do this to try to change people's mind because Abrahamic religions need to be returned to the dust where they belong, from whence they came. And as usual, opening statements here. If you're watching this on the YouTube, please consider a subscription to the channel, like the video. That helps pump them out into the world, helps grow this community. My channel's going crazy fast right now. This isn't my usual streaming time though. But anyway, I just fired it up. See who sends us through. See who it sends us through. Welcome, welcome. Just turned it on. We're gonna find some late night debates tonight. We always find some good ones. This ain't my usual streaming time though, so we're doing a bit of fishing here. That's why we're gonna keep it cool, keep it level, and try to perform an intellectual takedown of Christian ideology, and most importantly, expose the dangers of Christian ideology. That's what we do up in here. It may be an accident, but we already got several people requesting in. If y'all requested on purpose, it's hard to tell on my stream. I get so many in. If y'all are requested on purpose though, NYC and what does that say, Mark Rowe? It's hard to say, I'm kind of far away. Y'all hang out for just a second. I literally just fired this thing up like 30 seconds ago. So if you're in the queue and you're in there on purpose and you're a Christian, please hang out for just a second. Let's let a few more people roll up in here. We usually build up quite a crowd here on my channel. It's growing like crazy, y'all. I have let's see, I'm at 647 followers right now. A couple days ago, I didn't even have 500. So, I mean, they're just really blowing up in here. Jamie says, do not cast pearls before swine. Christians, don't waste your time on this fool. There's the Christian mind right there. We ain't talking to nobody. We don't listen to them. We stick our fingers in our ears and we leave these fools alone because they're just fools. Very respectable, Christians, very respectable. Anyway, if you're actually open to conversations, if you enjoy debates, I think you'll like this place. I'm a very simple, undereducated person, so I keep it simple and I go for the ideal jugular, if you will. So anyway, let's get it rolling. I think the first person in here was NYC. So let's bring up somebody and let's get it cracking up in here. See what'll happen. NYC, you there?
Yeah, what's good?
What's up, buddy? Are you over 18?
Yeah, I'm 22.
Cool. Are you one of the Christians?
I'm an Illuminati that'll fuck any 5-year-old. I fucking love minors.
Yeah, I guess you are a Christian.
Oh, daddy.
I don't know what's wrong with people, you know. Pretty damn sad. Pretty damn sad. It's sad people don't have anything better to do with their time than that. But 'tis the world we live in. We gotta live with the assholes, so we gotta bring them up on the stage when they request up and we don't know any better. So wasn't that hilarious? Alright, so I think... Oh, I know this thing's mixing them up now. Yeah, you wish, motherfucker. Hold on, let me, give me just a second. I'm going to bring the next person up, but I'm going to block this other dude first. Well, maybe I can't now. Oh, yes, I can. Haha. All right. Blocking that one. with like actual conversations from sane people in here with at least somewhat maturity level. Oh, and by the way, if you've never been here before, this is a free speech area, that's for sure. I don't care what you say, but you actually have to have a conversation. So you can call me whatever you want. Just don't do it while I'm trying to ask you a question 3 or 4 times in a row. And you can say whatever you want here. Obviously, besides TikTok bannable lingo, I have no control over that. So obviously, you can't say that kind of shit. Otherwise, welcome to America, baby. If you want to come up here and talk like an asshole, you can feel free to show the whole world you're an asshole. Or feel free to show the world how smart you are. All right, let's bring up Mark Roth. He's still here. Or she's still here. I can't tell from.
Yo, what's good?
Hey, what's up, man? Are you
Yo,
over
word to
18?
my dead nigga, you better stop disrespecting my Christ. Word to
Oh.
my dead nigga. Like we're gonna have
Your Christ is a damned phony. Now get up out of here. What is wrong with, like, holy moly. Well, we're off to a really bad start here, honestly, but there is still a whole bunch of people in the queue, and hopefully they got something way better to say than that. Let's see if I can get back to that motherfucker go. You gotta wonder what's really going on there. Like, is that really just a Christian and that's the best they can do, or is it just like people being weird trolls for some reason? Like, I don't understand. Like, if that's what you got to do to protect your religion, that's pretty damn sad. All right, who was next here? I think. Oh crap! It is definitely mixing these up. So okay, I see now. Okay, I get it. I have no way to be fair and bring up the next person in line because I have a real bad memory and I don't remember who was the next one in line. But I literally just watched it mix people up. So I'm not even sure who's the next one, so I'm just going to try to remember. So forgive me for not being fair there. Anyway, I think... Shit. I think Jim was up next, actually. Let's bring Jim in. Maybe it wasn't. Anyway. Jim, are you there?
Oh, yes. Hi.
Hello. Are you over 18?
I am over 18, yes.
Are you one of the Christians?
I am a Christian, yes.
Awesome. You're not about to start yelling crazy stuff, are you?
Well, it depends. I wouldn't raise my voice, though, but what I say might seem crazy to
Well,
some.
that's fine, but don't start. You know what I mean.
I do.
Let's just beat a goof. All
Yep.
right. You're clearly a sane person, so yes, let's. Oh, maybe not. Well, he dropped out, y'all. We got a sane one, and they dropped. Oh, Rick, what's up, buddy? I didn't expect to see you at this unholy hour. But thank you so much, man. I had a little free time here. Jim, if you didn't, okay, yeah, let me bring Jim back up. I think he dropped on accident.
Yeah, your mod
Damn.
dropped me.
My mod? Which mod?
When I dropped, it said mod dropped.
Why would a mod drop you?
These are things I know, but you may not. I can see them on my phone. You don't have my phone with you?
Yeah, I don't know.
I do.
Well, I'm saying I don't know how to tell why that would got dropped there. Oh, it was an accident. He said, sorry, man. It was I see now. That didn't even make no sense to me. I was like, I don't understand why. Okay, anyway.
That
So,
happens.
which one of these little topic, you like one of these topics up here?
Well, I can speak on all of them. Is there one that stands out to you?
No,
there
I'd rather
one-
talk to the one that stands out to you the most.
Okay, understood. The incoherency of the Trinity does exist to those who may not utilize its abilities, right?
What's that
Because,
mean?
yeah, so the Trinity includes something called the Holy Spirit, and this is something in my heart as a Christian. So this is one of the main things that gets called into question, that I have a quote-unquote spirit in my heart that guides me. So that to some would seem incoherent if they just use their mind, or if they just follow their heart by themselves. For me to say there's something else that's inside me that decides what I do, that would seem incoherent, but it's
Well-
been
Well, my
tested.
argument would be that the logic of the Trinity itself is incoherent. Like Jesus being God himself. To me, that's what's incoherent, not like the way you think of it or whatever.
Yeah, the human. I think the distinction of that human being the creator of the universe there's a lot of evidence for me to say that that does that not only does that human exist, but that he is divinity, that he is that thing. Because it's a giant leap to
Well,
say,
sure, but does it make sense to say things like Jesus and God have two clearly separate wills, right? And the Bible says things like Jesus is going to sit at the right hand of God. So if Jesus is God, does it make sense to say God is going to sit at the right hand of God?
well, your first part, the two having different wills is odd because the two have the same
Yeah,
will. But
exactly. Of the same
yeah.
being can't have two separate wills, can it? Unless you have like a split personality or something.
Yep. Yeah, they share the same will, those two. The human shares the same will as the creator of all things. So if there's inconsistencies, that would lead you away from believing that the two are the same thing. But imagine, I mean, I'm convinced he paid the creator of the universe paid the debt of identity to become human by passing through the womb. He chose, or the universe, this creator of all things, chose to become human for 33 years. Because we're so special. He created us, and he's like, you know what? You guys are the best thing I've ever created yet. I want to be among you. And then he floated off. He literally floated off in the sky. Can you imagine?
No, I can't imagine, but
Yeah. Now the one of the
so
things,
you do admit though there's incoherent problems with the Trinity, right?
not for me, but I can see how it would others. There's two
Well,
things
sure.
here.
I mean,
Yeah.
you've accepted it as something that's true. You know what I'm saying? So I get that,
Okay.
but
I don't
but
know.
yeah, to anybody else, it's just not going to make any sense to say God sits at the right hand of God, or that
Okay.
the Old Testament prophesied this Messiah who's going to come from the loins of David and be risen up from among the captives in exile. You know what I'm saying? Like, certainly God didn't come from the captives in exile. You know what I mean?
Well, those 12 tribes are something we can discuss, but to say no one, I've got somebody in the chat that's following me, the Lupus Sound. Thank you for being here tonight. He has 20,000 followers in Chicago. We could gather 60,000 people who will all be on one accord with what I'm saying. So when you say
Well, I
nobody,
mean, I
it
believe
doesn't-
you. Catholics make up over half of all Christians, so I get there's a lot of
Yeah.
people, but that don't mean it's
I
true,
think
though,
our
or
Catholic,
incoherent, to be in fact.
yeah, our Catholic friends too. But should you and I be the only two people on earth, me announcing my coherency and you announcing it not to be could still exist at the same time. I don't need 60,000 people to come see me DJ in Chicago, but if you were a part of that crowd, there would be okay, there could be something here with this Jesus guy. Or not, in Soldier Field.
Oh, I mean, I don't even think it was a prophet, but yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I'm just trying to make sense of the Trinity because saying, let me put it this way: do you think Jesus is 100% man?
Let's see. Yes, he was a human male while he was on Earth. He was
Okay, so do you
100%
think he's
human.
also 100% God?
When he existed, he was also 100% God because he was the human incarnation.
Okay, so that's just mathematically on plain math. That's like 200% there. So things can't be 200%. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I'm a member of a society that's known as Certified Public Accountants. You can realize a 200% increase or a 200% condition.
I'm actually a member of the Illuminati, and I paid $3,500 to get to level 5. So,
oh boy, that's a lot of dough.
I really don't feel any
3,500?
different either. So I don't know what's
Yeah,
up with that.
I know of those humans. Do you have the signs? Can you show us which eye you would
Just on my
cover?
forehead. Yeah.
Like if somebody talks, okay, so what we're told about the Illuminati when they are there in like David Letterman television show and they're about to talk about Jesus, they touch one of their eyes, they rub it to let the handlers know, look, I'm about to lie about a deity because the Illuminati cannot have a deity. So you just did touch your eye. So
Yeah,
it could
yeah.
be true that
I
you're a
tried
member.
lying for him, but I gave myself pink eye, so I quit doing that. That was just
Yeah.
something in my eye.
Well, it's what you touched before you touched your eye that caused that pink eye. So you don't have to touch that thing before you touch your eye.
Yeah. Sometimes it just works out like that, you know.
Well, I don't, but I can imagine.
Oh, no.
I did. I
Well, all right.
can't
Well,
remember
the
having
Trinity's
pink
still
eye.
pretty illogical to me. I don't think you've
Well,
explained
and
that very
Mark
well
9
for us.
So I wanted to present this concept. Mark 9 says that there are those who are casting out devils and they weren't following Jesus. So you are somebody who casts out devils and aren't following Jesus. Jesus said because his apostles stopped them because
Oh, I
they
don't
started
follow
to look
Jesus. I
like
don't even think he's definitely not a
right,
Messiah. He doesn't fulfill a single
right.
prophecy from the Old Testament.
But you still
He
cast
doesn't
out
even know what's
devils.
going on in the Old Testament, I
You
think. So I mean, I
you
don't see any reason to follow Jesus.
right, you still cast out devils. So with the followers
Who,
of
me?
Jesus, yeah. Do you not have a family that you protect?
Yeah, but I don't protect them with
So you're
prayers. I got
yeah.
like a
No.
Smith and
Just your mere
Wesson.
presence, just showing up and eating dinner. You're protecting everybody in all directions that are with you. This is casting out the devil of fear, but you're not doing it with the Holy Spirit. You're just doing it by yourself being there because they feel
Yeah,
protected by your
no Holy
presence.
Spirit needed, coincidentally.
So you don't need it. So in Mark 9, there were people casting out devils and they weren't following Jesus. His followers got jealous and tried to stop them. And Jesus said, forbid them not, because he has a reward for you. And you don't need a reward from Jesus because he doesn't even exist to you. But he's telling me,
Right.
who
Yeah.
he exists to, that you should be left alone because you are protecting humans here on earth. You're nice enough to give me a glass of water knowing I bear the name Christ. You have fruit of the Spirit. You're patient. You
Yeah,
don't
I do
need
it
the
just
Holy
to help you
Spirit.
out, though. Like, I don't need
Yep.
eternal salvation
Yes.
for that.
See, I need the
I
Holy
just try to
Spirit,
be
or
cool.
I'll be a rapscallion. I would not have joined the military and went overseas to help the community in Iraq if I didn't have the Holy Spirit, because I wouldn't care. But I want to care, and the Holy Spirit helps me care. You might sign up for the military and go overseas because in your heart it's good. You don't need the Holy Spirit to tell you to do that. I was working at the world's largest law firm when he said in '09, quit
Yeah,
for the
yeah, I
search in
hear you.
Iraq.
Are we actually debating something? I feel like you're just preaching to me right now.
I'm trying to make you aware that my deity has no concern in your life whatsoever. You can end up in
I already
heaven.
know that. I can tell you that. You ain't got to preach that to me.
Oh, I thought perhaps it was unknown. And I should
No,
have guessed you would have already known it. There's
no, I
no way
reject
I
God.
could
I'm an
convince you.
atheist. I don't think gods exist. I think they're a figment of people's imagination. And in the form of Christianity, it's almost a bad joke what they believe.
So your purpose here isn't wisdom gathering? Is it to try and dissuade?
No, it's debate, man. This is a debate channel.
Debate.
Yeah.
Okay, I did take
Well, I mean, if
college
you can
debate
give
at
me
Ball
wisdom,
State.
I will certainly take it. Like, if you can prove this stuff is true and makes sense, I would
I do have
probably still be a
evidence.
Christian if the book actually makes sense. But
I have 5 decades of evidence. And is there a specific passage that confuses you? Because I could literally
oh,
take
no,
you
no, I'm
down.
not confused by any of it. I know exactly what all this is talking about.
Okay, good. Okay, well then I have no use. I may drop because if you're certain of what it is you're doing, I do not want to involve myself other
Well,
than
we
to
can
encourage you.
discuss it if you think I'm wrong in a
I
debate
don't
conversation
think you're
type
wrong.
form. But
I don't
oh,
think
okay.
you're wrong. When you announce that
Okay.
there's no way Jesus is actually God, there is no gods, then I can say to you as a Christian, that actually is the right thing for you. If you're certain, because
Oh,
I can
okay.
sense you already have
Well, I can
fruit.
say Christianity is the right thing for you, and I'll stay over here and use my brain in the meantime. But
Right.
we appreciate you coming up, man. So I guess he wasn't interested in debating. We don't really care to hear sermons here, even though I don't mind. I'm kind of chill right now. It's late at night. We all awake. Damn, there's 36 people in here. I did not expect an audience like this at this unholy hour, but here we are. So we're going to keep it rolling for everybody's entertainment here. And oh shit, we're already getting a bunch of likes and comments and shit. So that's cool. Got a lot of people in the queue. Most of them's probably accidents or already split, but I think the next one was, I think it was Soldier CK, if I'm not mistaken. He might not still be here though, so yeah, I guess not. I had a feeling that would be a good one too. Anyway, Soldier CK, if you're still there, come on back. And I think, let's see here, I think Spencer was next. Well, let's see if Spencer's still here. Maybe he's not crazy. Or maybe not. Oh, maybe he is. Spencer, you there?
Yes, sir.
What's up? You're over 18?
Yes, absolutely. 33.
Cool. That's a good age. Are you one of the Christians?
Absolutely not.
Awesome. So which one of these topics you want to address up here with us?
Let's go with let's go with I kind of want to go off a slight and just ask you a question real fast so I can get a basic synopsis of what you're standing on here.
Oh, so you want to like interview me? Like, does my electric personality interest you?
Yeah, everything's interesting. That's why I stuck around. So I just kind of, I'm a, me
Go ahead.
personally,
I'll allow it.
yeah, I'm a seeker of knowledge. So I'm just trying to figure out, I like to see people's viewpoints on life, and I just
That's a
gather
good thing to do, man.
substantial experience from it. Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to
Yeah, even
condemn
if you
anybody for what
don't
they believe.
agree, I think fostering understanding's pretty important.
Yeah, if not, then you just breed about chaos and confusion. So, so you said you're an atheist, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you don't believe in any God in a biblical sense, or you just don't believe there's any creator at all?
I don't think there's any creators at all, but especially not the biblical one.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Cool. But so you just think what Big Bang? What we doing? Darwinism or what? Is some type of
Yeah, all those. I don't know about Darwinism, but I
all
don't know
those?
what Darwinism is exactly. But I believe in the modern theory of evolution is true. Yeah, it's a fact.
Okay, cool beans. Darwinism is essentially on a low basis. Like if you've ever seen that chart of the Neanderthal, it's a monkey turned into a humanoid. Homo.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Have
we
you ever
can.
seen it? Okay, cool. So that, yeah, Charles Darwin, that he comes up with that theory, but which also
Well,
makes
sort
no
of.
sense. If you put a gorilla or a monkey or a chimp or a silverback in a cage for 100 years, it would never become a human.
Yeah,
Because
nothing in
that's not what it
evolution
is.
says it was. That's insane to say. Extreme
Yeah,
misrepresentation of evolution. So,
absolutely. Okay, cool beans.
yeah.
So one more thing. So the universe in itself, the intricacies and how unique things are brought about. The woman, how embryos turn into a secondary stage and it becomes infants. Even prior to that, just being mugdas and blood clots or what have you. All those intricacies you just feel like come from nothing.
No.
Yeah. So like, who cultivates these things? The universe, the galaxies, the fact that the
Who
sun's the
people do
perfect
when they have
distance.
sexual intercourse. Have you ever heard about the birds and the bees?
Oh yes, sir. I've heard about the birds and the bees. I have
Yeah, so
children
like when
myself.
a mommy loves a daddy, they go into the
Yeah,
same
they
bed
put a little
together.
Marvin Gaye on.
There's an egg and a sperm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's where
Yeah, sometimes a little smoking, a little drinking. Yeah, I'm familiar.
it
Maybe
happens.
some e-pills. So yeah, absolutely. So I would say you don't believe in a creator. So you think that somebody who has a mom and a dad is the almighty creator? Is the one who created the universe? Somebody who has parents?
Are you being serious?
Like you believe somebody who has parents is the creator
That
of the
can't be a
universe?
real question, man. Come on.
Well, you just said that
Why would I
you
think two
know,
people are Almighty God?
yeah. Well, you don't believe in any almighty God, so I'm trying to get to the base of what exactly
No,
you believe.
exactly. So I don't think of any Almighty God. So I certainly don't think two people are Almighty God,
Oh yeah, yeah, more or less than just one, right? Why two?
and I certainly don't think a gorilla you lock in a cage evolves into something else. So
Absolutely not. That would be insane.
no, yeah, it
Um,
would. Yeah.
yeah, man. I mean, I tell you what though. Like I say, I wouldn't condemn or try to discourage anybody. Damn sure not coerce you to believe anything else. But just understand this, if not anything, um, it's something greater than us out there. You get what I'm saying? No matter where
Yep.
he's at or where it's at, and don't fall
Yep.
victim to allowing negativity or any dark energies to take over your mindset at any time. If you're not going to believe in any creator,
Like the
just
dark
believe in
side,
yourself at the end of
unfortunately.
the day. Yeah, yeah, you know about the Jedi mind tricks. So just
Yeah,
make
yeah.
sure you
You will be
so
an
make sure
atheist this week.
me.
Yeah,
Oh no,
you
I
will
won't
be
be.
an
I won't be an
atheist
atheist.
this week. Oh, you will this week.
I think I am already. You got me.
Oh
But
shit! The force is strong with this
see,
one.
see what happens. See what happens. But
Yeah,
yeah, man.
I got it, y'all. I told
Whatever's
you.
gonna. I'm telling you, yeah, this guy's sharp. Whatever's
Somebody
gonna
said
keep
you're
you.
already an atheist.
Yeah, it happened that fast. Anyway, I don't want people to confuse atheism also with evil, because just because you don't believe in a biblical God or you don't believe in one of the Abrahamic religions doesn't mean you're automatically evil.
Thank you.
I
I
just
don't think you're
believe that,
automatically evil if you're a Christian either. Some of the best people I know are Christians. I don't.
yeah,
There's a common
absolutely. They're
misconception in here
confused,
that
but
I give a
they're good
shit that
people.
people are Christians, but I don't. This is America. You can be whatever you want, but if you're going to come up here and debate about it, I would bring some good points because I wouldn't go for the
Absolutely.
jugulars.
Yeah, absolutely. I just believe whatever makes you a better person, man. As long as you're not out here,
Hey,
fondling
there you go,
children
man.
and slitting throats immediately.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
man.
don't
It
be
is
like
what it is.
Moses in the Bible.
Yeah, don't be killing you. Don't be unaliving your own kind. Don't be
Well,
running
the
around.
fondling minors
Oh
thing.
yeah,
So,
yeah, I'm familiar. I just didn't want to throw it out there at all. But I try to take it easy on those guys, man. If you go to the library, this is a simple way to solve it. You go to the library. The Bible is in the fiction category, and if it was in its original state, it wouldn't be. But it's been tampered with. So unfortunately,
okay.
that's where we at with it.
Okay. Well, all right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming up for and interviewing me there, Spencer. That was a good time. I kind of like the chill vibe here, the chill vibe on this unholy hour stream here. What the? It's Tuesday now. Okay. Yeah, Tuesdays are usually the kind of, I don't know, maybe the slower day of Tuesday. But anyway, so let's get some debates back in here. We still got a whole bunch of people waiting here. Well, I'm popular to talk to, I reckon. Let's see if Nate is still here. Yeah, I think Nate's still here. Nate, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What up? You over 18?
Hey, 46.
Great age, great age. I'm almost caught up to you. So, are you one of the Christians?
I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. I'm not a creedal Christian, though.
Well, I mean, the definition of a Christian is Christ-like, someone who follows Christ. So.
Well, some would refer me to not being a Christian, but because I don't believe in the triune God.
Oh, yeah, I don't think you have to be a Christian, though.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it don't make any sense. But there is some problems with that theologically, but yeah, it don't make any sense to say Jesus. I mean, there's passages that say he got the Holy Spirit when he was baptized. So, I mean, it's kind of crazy to say he was born with it or was God or something, you know what I mean?
Yep. No, I agree with you on that. I think the triune being is man-made and invented, and it's not, it doesn't make any sense. I agree.
All righty. Cool, man. Well, we got that one out of the way. So what are these other topics up here you like? Which one squeezes your fancy?
Well, so you would bet your soul Christianity is false. So you used to be Christian.
Yep.
Well, I'm a gambling man. And I mean,
I'm not usually, but I think this is a pretty safe bet.
Well, and that's what I'm saying, though. Usually when you gamble, there's something to gain. So just with that statement, there's really nothing to gain. So if you did bet, like, oh, I bet it's false, even if it's not, you don't gain anything. But if it was true,
you gain the truth, you gain clarity on what's happening in it.
But if it was true, then it's like, well, that's the gamble. It's like, well, if I get there and it's true, that's
I ain't got any reason to believe it.
Okay, I know, but I'm just saying. I mean, having your truth, you can have that being whatever religion you want. You can have different understandings of God. And I mean, that's the great thing about, having your own personal beliefs. So you don't need to follow what a whole religion forces you to think.
Correct. But yeah, I'll bet my soul. Oh, actually, I already bet it. No, I can't go back no matter what. So here I am.
Well, and that's what brings you peace and happiness, and I can't hate on that.
Well, that's cool. So do you think Jesus actually fulfills any prophecies from the Old Testament?
I like to follow Dan McClellan as a biblical scholar, and he he alludes to the scriptures that a lot of Christianity uses, saying, "Oh, Jesus did this," and he says, "No, that wasn't about Jesus. That was about a prince at that time or whatever." So I wouldn't argue that there are scriptures in the Old Testament that Jesus fulfilled. That's just my point of view. I wouldn't argue it.
So you don't think he fulfilled all the prophecies?
Not the ones that typical Christianity, gives
Like the
him
ones that
credit
matter
for.
to the doctrine?
It kind of does, because I don't look at the Bible the same way. I don't. A lot of Christianity, the Bible, it's God breathed, and they believe that every word in there, it's from God. Where I think it's inerrant. I think there's things in there that were just stories, and to teach lessons. And
So you don't think Adam and Eve, like the Genesis, was literal, right?
I mean, there had to be a beginning, so I don't. But it could be just a story to. I mean, because what happened with Cain, he was banished and he went and found a wife. Well, where'd he get that wife from? So there's things in there that it doesn't quite
like
add
Paul
up.
would say, like, if Adam didn't eat that fruit, then all this is pointless. There was no need for redemption. So, like, the New Testament was reading it literally.
So, sorry, what was that?
I was just saying, like, I think the New Testament was reading the Old Testament literally. Like Paul says, if Adam didn't eat that fruit, then there was never a need for redemption. So it was all kind of pointless.
Yeah. And like I said,
Well, I mean, okay, so what makes you a Christian, actually?
I believe in Jesus. I believe him as my savior, and he's the Son of God.
Why though? Like, what makes him this savior?
Well, I mean, it all goes back to what, like life experiences that I've had and things. So you says you don't like it when people get up here and preach. I'm not going to get up and bear testimony. It's just, that's my life experience, things that I've went through. And so, yeah, I trust him as my savior. But I don't think he's.
So it's nothing really based on the Bible then?
No, my testimony isn't based on. I don't worship the Bible, which I think creedal Christians do. I think they think of the Bible as God, and if anything comes outside, like I like the Apocrypha books, I like Book of Enoch, I like anything that's ancient records. I think it's interesting to study, and I think there's probably good things in all ancient records.
Well, I'm not sure we have too much to debate in that case. I mean, I can't just like disqualify a personal experience somebody had, but if you don't think the Bible was true, then I mean,
well, no, I didn't. No, I didn't say
how
that.
you got to Jesus being a savior in any sort of sense.
Nope. I didn't say I didn't believe it's true. I'm just saying that I think there are some things in there that would be just
I'm
more
very confused right now.
No, I just don't take it as what a typical Christian takes it as, saying that God breathed.
What do you take it as? Like, what do I got to prove wrong in the Bible to get you to drop this religion?
Again, you couldn't, because of things that I've experienced. So there's nothing that you could say.
So it's like a cult mentality type thing. Yeah.
Oh no, not at all. I mean, if you have life experience and things that you learn and experience in your life, that's nothing to do with anyone. I didn't have any teacher or cult that
I just really feel like you ought to leave yourself some wiggle room there to not get trapped in the I'm right no matter what type thing. That sounds it just don't sound right to me.
No, I don't know where I said that. I don't know where that came across. I wasn't claiming.
I just asked you what I could do to make you drop this, and you said nothing.
Well, yeah, it's because you can't take away experiences that I've had. So how are you going to?
Oh yeah, okay.
You can't
you can't leave yourself any room mentally to say maybe my experience was off, or maybe I perceived it a little incorrectly or something.
I mean, yeah, I'm always open to hear other
Did
people's
Jesus come
experience.
out and show you an ID like?
No, nope. It's definitely different, but like I said, it's definitely something. You used to be Christian, and you used to believe the Bible was inerrant and perfect, right?
Yeah, and then when I figured out it wasn't, to my horror, it didn't last long at all after that.
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of. I guess we're on that same page.
So if I just showed you a list of prophecies that Jesus doesn't even come close to fulfilling, it wouldn't bother you at all.
Nope. I mean, the prophecies that you're saying creedal Christians attribute to Jesus, I wouldn't attribute them.
Well, all right, man. Well, we appreciate you coming up. It's an interesting topic, but I'd really rather. I think the people want to see something more debatable. Uh, and yeah, you're right. I was. Thanks for not. You're right. We don't really want to hear testimony, so thanks for not trying to spew it out anyway. We respect that here. So, all right, who was? Let's see. Oh, before I get to the next person, we got a ton of people in line here. Let me, if you got any questions or comments, throw them in there real quick, and I'll try to answer them, and then we're going to move on to the next person here in just a second. Thank you all. I had no idea there was going to be this many people and likes and stuff this late at night, so thank you all. I appreciate the engagement. It tickles me shitless how fast my channel is growing. I mean, I just flew past 650 followers. I didn't even have 500 the other day. I was trying to push it to 500, so I mean, it's really, really climbing. And I'm really kind of blown away by the engagement I've been getting. So it's pretty amazing. Thank y'all. All right, so I don't see any comments rolling in. So shit, it's kind of hard to. It's hard to tell if people's talking to me or other people too. So, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't understand why. Like, you could just roll through the book. This book, I mean, like it or not, it's the foundation of all that. So, I mean, I don't see why if you can roll through this book just proving wrong, like, that just wouldn't affect you. Like, that's crazy to me, man. It's crazy to me. All right. So, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people in the queue right now. And I'm going to try to remember which one was here the longest. I think it was Punk Rock. I don't think he's here anymore, though. I gotta give it just a second after I hit accept, because it lags the shit out of me sometime, even though my Wi-Fi should be on point. She got that 2 gig fiber, baby. Supposed to be pumping out the high bandwidths up in here. It's kind of crazy. I looked too before I got on here. There's a couple really big shows going that had a lot of people watching right now, so I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to drag some folks over here. Anyway, let's move on. Who is next? I think Maury was the next one, and then Actual. So hang out just a second. Maury, you there?
Yes, sir. How you doing, brother?
Doing all right. Thanks for asking. Are you over 18?
Yes, sir.
Good deal. Are you one of the Christ-like Christians?
Yes, sir.
All right. So which one of these topics here has the Lord called you to debate us on?
I would probably debate all 3 of them, but we can start with Jesus fulfills 0 prophecy. I would like to establish that he didn't fulfill all the prophecy, but he did fulfill some of the prophecy. I also would like to state that some of the people who prophesied are not credible, and I would argue
Like
that
who?
is why he didn't fulfill those prophecies. Like, for example, the prophecy that he would resurrect. I believe that the way that it was presented it's not genuine to assume that they were talking about resurrection in the first place. So you can't sit here
What
and use that
prophecy
as
are
a
you
defense.
talking about a resurrection?
Well, so it's usually up to interpretation when it comes to the Bible, as I'm sure you know. But one of the main prophecies that people claim that he fulfilled that I personally disagree with is the prophecy of resurrection in Psalms. I would argue that they weren't even claiming that a prophecy that he was going to resurrect in the first place, honestly.
I would have to agree with
That's
you. I
besides
can't
the
think
point.
I don't know of any resurrection prophecies at all, but especially from songs.
Exactly, that's how I feel as well. But
Okay.
that was just an
So what's a
example.
prophecy that you do think he fulfilled?
Okay, so I think one that is blatant that he fulfilled was that he was born in Bethlehem. I don't think that's
Okay.
even a
Let's
question.
read that one real quick. That's from Micah 5. Crap. Which one am I on here?
I have the verse if you want me to read it to you. But
Yeah,
I
go
can
ahead.
wait as well.
Micah
It's
5,
Micah.
2.
Yep, Micah 5:2. Yep. But you, Bethlehem, I don't know how to pronounce the second word. I'll be honest. I'm not even gonna try. Out of you will
Ephrathah.
come for me one who will be ruler over Israel.
That's it? That's all it
So
said?
yeah, that's the direct quote. Yeah.
Oh. The one I got here says, "But you, O Bethlehem of Ephrathah, who are one of the little clans of Judah, from you shall come forth for me one who is to rule in Israel, whose origin is from old, from ancient days." So this says Bethlehem is a clan, not a town.
Well, that's just difference in translation. Which translation are you on?
I'm on the straight up Hebrew translation, the NRSV
So you're using which translation? NRS?
NRSV.
Yeah, I would argue that that one's not accurate. See, the main,
Why?
like, I'm also of the opinion, just like you
Why
are,
is
that
this
the
one not
Bible is
accurate?
not completely
This is
accurate
one of the most modern
because
translations of the straight up
yes,
Hebrew.
that is true, but there are also contradictions within the translation and mistranslations if you look
Okay.
into it.
So what's
I
a
would
what's a good
recommend looking into
translation
it.
then?
I would argue that there isn't any direct good translations. I would argue that you, as a person who decides whether or not they want to follow Christ, should directly
Okay, well
translate
let's
the text
make it easy
themselves.
then and not argue about word semantics. So when
Yeah,
was
yeah,
Jesus
exactly.
ever a ruler in Israel?
See, just because he hasn't fulfilled the claim yet doesn't mean that it won't be fulfilled.
Oh,
So
so it's
if
unfulfilled.
yes, I agree that he hasn't become the ruler of Israel, but there's two prophecies there. One that he would be born in Bethlehem, the location, and one that he would rule Israel. So if again, my point is that the logic in the Bible is consistent, not that it's provable. So if he comes back and he's truly God, then he's ruler of the world and he's ruler of Israel. It's not a question. It just hasn't happened yet. So you can't claim that it won't be
So
fulfilled.
then
You
it's
can claim it hasn't
unfulfilled
been
by
fulfilled.
definition. I thought we was talking about a fulfilled prophecy.
Yeah, that's part of the prophecy that hasn't been fulfilled yet. Yeah, the
Oh,
one that
so it
was
filled
fulfilled
part of it and he's gonna
was
come back later and do the rest.
yeah. So the part of it that is fulfilled is him being born in Bethlehem. That's just one example. Another one
Okay,
was
so he's gonna come back in thousands of years and be from the line of David.
yeah, he's good. Okay, under the assumption that he will come back. I'm not saying yes, it's 100% guaranteed, but if we're
Well, at
trying to
least you're not
defend
trying to
the
argue
logic,
he was a
right?
ruler in
We're trying to defend the logic.
Israel.
So I'm not going to argue
Yeah.
that he was already a ruler of Israel, but the
Alright.
logic is consistent. I can say that. So
Okay,
just
so
to
do
move
you
on
have
to
an
the
actual
next.
prophecy that he
Yep,
did
yep.
fulfill?
I got
Like
another
one
one.
he
Got another one.
is there a completely fulfilled prophecy here in context? Because I think that one
Descendant
fails
of
on
David.
pretty much
A
every level.
descendant of David. He was a direct descendant of David, based off the genealogy listed in the Bible. So that prophecy was fulfilled.
Which genealogy?
The line of David. What do you mean? Which genealogy?
Yeah, I mean, which one are you talking about?
Luke, Matthew, they list the descendants of David, the genealogy of David.
You're aware that the genealogy that Matthew gives goes through Jeconiah, right?
Yes, but it also goes through David. So what is that?
You don't know a problem. You don't see the problem with that.
No, because the prophecy is that he would come from David's line. So even if somebody else came from the line that you don't like or
Yeah,
don't agree
but
with, or etc., it doesn't
Jeremiah
change that.
chapter 22, the line of Jeconiah is cursed. It says you will never have another descendant sit on the throne of David. So Matthew has went through a cursed lineage to get Jesus to David, even though David didn't even consummate the marriage until after Jesus was born.
Right. What does that change?
Right. What does that change? Well, first of all, Joseph's not his dad, and second of all, you can't get through the line to David through Jeconiah because it was cursed in Jeremiah 22. He cannot have descendants. Matthew has made a huge poo-poo here.
Actually, I didn't know that. So thank you for pointing that out. Honestly.
Oh, well, no problem. It's in Jeremiah chapter 22 if you want to. But Luke actually does correct this one. That's why I thought you said Luke first. That's why literally I thought you was going to say Luke, and I thought that was actually kind of clever. But you said Matthew too.
Well, I mean, I know that there is presented in both, but I didn't know that there was a contradiction found in Matthew's word. But I'm not surprised that there was a contradiction found in Matthew's word. The only person that the Bible claims to be sinless and correct all the time is Jesus. So the people that wrote about Jesus were obviously writing based off of their own interpretation.
No. There was other sinless people in the Bible besides Jesus.
Who?
Job was one of them.
Job
Eliza.
sinned.
Let's see. There was a couple here. Who was
Job
the other
sinned. So who else?
Job did. What was Job's sins?
Do you want me to pull up scripture where Job was sinning? Is that what you're asking?
Well, I mean, you can just tell me. I might remember. I hadn't read Job in a long time, but
I think.
Did it say he was sinning?
Yeah, like an example of him sinning was there's a scripture talking about there was a man in the land of Uz whose name
Yeah,
was Job, and that man was blameless and upright, one who feared God and shunned evil.
yeah,
Right?
blameless and
So
upright. That means he wasn't a sinner. I
yeah,
want to say it
so
also says Elizabeth never sinned. It says they were righteous and never committed these things.
yeah,
Anyway.
so if you, this is why I think that we should take translations directly, because if you go to the source, which is where it was written in Hebrew, blameless is not a correct
Well, I can't
translation.
read Hebrew, so there's no point in arguing from languages. Can you speak Hebrew?
No, you can translate it though
Oh.
yourself. That's my point. So if you translate the Hebrew that was
I'm
actually
reading the
there,
translation,
blameless.
right? I can't translate it myself. I can't read it.
No, I'm telling you that rather than just reading a translation of the Bible that you found, like you said, you found a New Age translation, you should
Mhm.
get the text yourself and translate it word for word, whichever translation engine you believe in. Because when you translate that blameless section, it doesn't even say
I'll
blameless.
pass on
It actually
that.
says
This one, it
faithful.
may not be perfect, but this one's
Yeah,
a pretty darn good translation here.
yeah, I understand, but like when it comes to
There's
that
very
specific
few
verse,
translational problems with this, I think.
yeah, I'm just telling you that specific translation is incorrect, and it's been found
Okay.
incorrect by Christian
Oh, yeah,
scholars.
well,
Yes, sir. So another
okay.
example of Job sinning is when he
Okay, well, anyway, that's
loses.
not even a good, like, debatable point, really. But the point is that either way, Matthew is given a cursed line. He says there's 14 people from the generation after the exile, and apparently he can't count to 14 because there's only 13 there. And he begins listing prophecies that Jesus fulfilled from the Old Testament, quoting the Old Testament directly, and Jesus doesn't seem to fulfill a single one of these. If you just go
Yeah,
back and
so
read it.
as you already pointed out, Matthew isn't very credible. Like
No,
I
it's
said,
not.
I don't
It's
think.
a big, giant mess.
Yeah, I think
That's why I
that
use
that book
Matthew a
shouldn't
lot
have
of
been
slow
added to
hanging
the
fruit.
Bible in
So.
the first place. That's why I don't agree with the Bible. Just like the last guy, I'm not the typical Christian that's gonna come in here and worship the Bible. I will 100% concede when you point out the inconsistencies because they're true.
Well, I respect that. So
Of
can you
course, bro.
show us a fulfilled prophecy that Jesus nailed here?
Okay, I'll bring up a different point. Sorry.
Preferably
I
one the
I
New
would like.
Testament actually claims he fulfilled and not just like a weird sentence grab.
Okay, so the betrayal of the for the 30 pieces of silvers in Zechariah, the Messiah will be betrayed for 30 silver coins. Judas betrays Jesus for 30 silver coins. That's another very clear
That's
prophecy
not
that
a
will be fulfilled.
prophecy about Jesus. That's about the shepherd, the good shepherds and the bad shepherd in Zechariah.
What do you mean?
It's more of a story. It's not a prophecy coming up. It's like the separating the good shepherds from the bad shepherds.
Okay, so
It's
what's a
not a
prophecy
prophecy
to
about
you? What's a prophecy to
a
you?
well, like what Deuteronomy 18 says. It's prophecy of God speaking through a prophet, giving information or comfort to a people that's testable. It says you have to be able to know whether they're actually a prophet or not. So it has
So
to
you
be
don't agree
testable
with the Bible, but you're
information.
using the Bible for your definition of prophecy.
Yeah, I don't agree with it because it says A is going to happen and A either don't happen or B happens. So it's just
Okay,
not
so we
right
can
when you
already
line up
agree that the
actual words.
Bible is not a good source for definitions, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you giving me the definition
It's
of
not a good
prophecy
source
based off the
for
Bible is
fulfilled
inaccurate.
prophecies either.
A prophecy is a claim of the future by
That's
defined
right.
in modern
And if they
terms.
don't happen,
So,
it's not from God. And this Bible is chock full of them. So why think any of this is from God?
because just because this is a fallacious argument, right? So just because some of the Bible
It's
is
not.
untrue does not mean the
It's
rest of
not.
the
We can
Bible is
literally
untrue.
read every one of them, and I'll show you that Jesus doesn't fulfill any of this stuff. And even in the Old Testament, that's not even talking about Jesus. Those prophecies don't happen either. That's why I'm not a Jew or a Christian.
Right, but I just brought up a prophecy he did fulfill, and instead of disproving it, you claimed it wasn't a prophecy, even though it is a
Which
prophecy.
one was it again?
Yeah, so the prophecy that he would be betrayed for 30
Zechariah?
silver.
Yeah, that's not a prophecy.
Yep. Yeah, but it's a telling of the future, which we agreed was a
No,
prophecy.
it's
It's a
not.
telling of the future. So
Mm-mm.
if he's making a future claim, that's not a prophecy to you?
No, I can name actual prophecies. That's not one of them.
Right, but so if he's making a future claim, that's not a prophecy to you?
Yeah, I'm just saying you can't pick out anything you want and say it's a prophecy and apply it to Jesus because it's not if it's not a prophecy, I can't accept that. But it's not talking about anything like that. It's like
Oh
a
no, I
story
agree that
about
it's not a prophecy
getting
based
down
off.
to the good to the bad shepherds and stuff.
Yeah, I
It
agree that
doesn't
it's not
say anybody's going to be portrayed for silver.
actually it
Matthew
directly
actually quotes
states
that one wrong
the
too.
Messiah directly, word for word. The Messiah will be betrayed for 30 silver.
It
So
doesn't say that
I
in
don't know.
Zechariah. That's a lie.
What does it say? If it
It
doesn't, what
never
does it say
says
then?
Messiah. It's not a story about a Messiah.
So what does it say?
That's what I'm telling you. It's a story about separating the good shepherds from the bad shepherds. It's just like a little lesson, moral story.
Right, but I'm asking you what it directly says because you're claiming I'm wrong when I'm
I
reading
don't
it
remember
directly.
what it directly says, but I remember the gist of the chapter.
Right, so the
It's
overall
not a
idea.
prophecy. And like I said, preferably one that the New Testament says he names, but Matthew names that, and he doesn't even quote the right prophet. He says that was from Jeremiah. It's from Zechariah.
No, I said Zechariah. Oh, okay, I
No,
see.
Matthew
I see. My bad.
says
Yeah, yeah,
Jeremiah.
yeah. Yeah, we already agreed Matthew's not a good
Right, yeah.
source. So,
All right.
we
So
just
what is a
forget about
prophecy
Matthew.
here that is pivotal to your belief?
Okay, so I don't think Jesus fulfilling prophecy is pivotal to him being God. I wouldn't
Well,
even
what
argue that's the
is?
case. I think what is pivotal to him being God is whether or not he resurrected. That is the
Okay.
actual thing that is
So
in
how do you
question
know
for
he
his divinity.
resurrected?
Because I choose to believe the eyewitness testimony. That is why. It's really
What
as simple as
eyewitness testimony?
that. What do you mean, what
Matthew?
eyewitness testimony? The gospel are about eyewitness testimony. Stories passed down through speech
They're
that
not
they are then
eyewitness
written down.
testimony, though. They're stories
Uh,
about other people's eyewitness testimony.
It's not. See, that's where it's a fallacious argument, right? So you're saying it's a story about eyewitness
What's-
testimony, aka it's
Yeah,
eyewitness
Luke
testimony.
literally
So does-
says, I
explain this to
investigated
me.
testimonies that began
Explain
with the
this.
first eyewitnesses.
If
You're
you
talking
listen,
handed down information. There is no
Correct.
eyewitness testimony in the Bible.
So if it's handed down eyewitness testimony, is it not still eyewitness testimony? Is that what you're claiming now?
Nope. It is
Okay, so if
second,
you-
third, fourth, fifth, 10th hand information. That is not eyewitness testimony. Eyewitness testimony are testimonies from the eye that witnessed it.
Yeah. So if you explain to me that you saw a dog bite a cat, and then I told my brother that you saw a dog bite a cat, tell me how that's not eyewitness testimony. Break that down for me.
Because you're telling my story and it's
Right,
flawed.
so- I'm telling the story that you told. I'm repeating your words.
That's
So
why they
in
don't
what
accept
world
these
is it
in
not
court.
eyewitness
You can't
testimony?
accept hearsay. It's hearsay if it's
We're
not,
not talking-
from the person.
I'm not
And
claiming that it's
even
not hearsay.
eyewitness testimony isn't even that reliable.
I never claimed that it wasn't hearsay, and you can't claim that eyewitness testimony isn't
You're
reliable
saying
because
it's
you base your
eyewitness
entire life off.
testimony, but
Okay,
it's not.
so tell me
Like,
what. Okay,
if I
what
tell you a
believe in
story about a
Darwinism, right?
dog and 18 generations later somebody else tells it, that's not very credible eyewitness testimony, is it?
Yes, it is. If it's true, then it's credible. There's no question about that. You're saying that it's discredited.
you
You're
don't
making the
work in the court
hypothetical that it's
system.
changed. No, I disagree. I agree that it's hearsay. Did I ever claim it wasn't
Okay,
hearsay?
well, prove it's true. Prove the eyewitness testimony is reliable. Show us some reliable testimony in the Bible that your belief is based on here.
Well, reliable is subjective, so I'm telling you my opinion that it's reliable, right? So
So
tell
you
me
just
why it
want to
isn't.
believe it, basically?
That's how. Okay, tell me
Because
something
the
that you
scriptures,
believe
the
that you don't
Gospels
believe
aren't
because of
reliable.
eyewitness
Like
testimony.
Luke's, I agree with you that Luke's way better, like written, but there's still lots of mistakes, and there's still immense problems with this entire book.
Yeah, I agree. There's immense problems throughout the book because it was written by humans, and humans
So
have
why
problems.
trust it?
Because like
Yeah,
I
it
explained to you
sounds like the
earlier, just
eyewitness
because
testimony is
part
probably
of it
solid
is
to you
untrue,
here.
part is untrue, does not mean that all of it is untrue. Correct? That's
So,
obvious.
do you believe
So-
any eyewitness testimony that's written in the ancient
Actually,
world?
your entire life, I would argue every human's life is based off of eyewitness testimony. If you want to sit here,
Okay, so
'cause
do
I
you
heard you
believe all
earlier.
the eyewitness testimony in the ancient
No, I do
world?
not believe all eyewitness testimony. I believe.
So why do you
I-
believe this one over other ones?
Because I believe it's credible based off of their actions. That is why.
What
The
actions?
thing that makes it credible is their actions. They died for these beliefs. I don't believe that they would have died for these claims if they weren't true. They were never. There was no reason to
they
believe that they
believed
would
it.
have.
That doesn't mean it was true.
Right, and I'm telling you that
Right.
they believed it, and I believe them. They believed
Okay.
it. Are you
so
claiming
why,
that they believed
are
it
there other
baseless?
martyrs you believe too? Because they died for. What about like Muslim and Buddhist martyrs?
There are some of them that I believe, yes, based off of their credibility. That's what I was
So why
trying to
not be an
explain.
Islam then? Why don't you be a Muslim?
Because Islam agrees that God exists, so I agree with Islam, but they just miss the distinction that Christ is also God. So it's not that I don't agree with them. I do agree with them. What do you mean? Also,
Well,
I would
I mean,
like to
they
bring
got
it back to my
martyrs and stuff.
point. You earlier explained that you agree with the Big Bang Theory, right? So the Big Bang Theory itself
think
is
it's the most
eyewitness
likely, yeah.
testimony. Yeah, that's
No, it's not.
eyewitness
It's
testimony.
based on an
Yes, it is.
observation of a natural
obser-
phenomenon.
so what's
it's
an observation?
observable thing. You can observe the
Yeah,
redshift.
exactly.
That's what it's based
So what
on.
is?
Yeah.
So what's eyewitness testimony? Somebody explaining what they observed, right? Okay.
It's somebody who
you-
can say, "Hey, look at this, y'all."
Yeah, exactly. Correct.
Yeah, exactly. You got nothing
So
to
you're
of the
choosing
sort
to.
of that
Have
here.
you ever looked at it though? That's the question. Have
There's
you ever
no
looked at it?
eyewitness testimony in the Bible. I don't even know why you keep saying that.
Actually, the entire Bible that is a part that
Not
is
a drop of
describing
it.
Jesus' life is eyewitness
Nope.
testimony.
Not
Yes,
a
it is.
single
They're
word.
claiming that
Nope.
it's eyewitness testimony.
They can claim all they want. It don't mean it's eyewitness testimony.
So explain why it isn't.
Because they say it isn't. Like Luke literally tells you he is not an eyewitness to this. He's investigating accounts, stories.
Correct. So you gave me one
Correct.
book out of the entire Bible where that's stated.
So Matthew and Luke
explain it for the rest of the
copied
book.
90% of Mark's
You're still talking about
content
Matthew and
word
book
for
and
word.
Luke. So let's talk about
And
the rest of the Bible. You said the whole Bible
about
has
it?
no eyewitness testimony. So if you're going to bring up the books where they directly said it's not eyewitness testimony, how about we talk about the ones that wasn't directly stated?
Okay, which one?
The rest of them. There are only three
That's what I was
books
just
in the Bible
explaining.
where
You
it says that
started
it isn't
telling me to
eyewitness
explain
testimony.
them.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so Matthew and Luke both copied 90% from Mark. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then John come along way after and wrote his own testimony, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So these didn't even start until at least 50 years after Jesus' death.
Right. So you just brought up the three that are not eyewitness testimony and are confirmed. So
There's
the rest
no
of the Bible
just
refute that it's eyewitness testimony.
Just cut to the chase here and show us some eyewitness testimony if you got one. What do you think's eyewitness here?
I mean the Revelations claim to be eyewitness testimony directly. What do you mean?
Revelations.
The Revelations claim to be eyewitness testimony. Yes. What do you mean? Literally in the beginning of the Revelations.
That's supposed to be the same author as John, man. John had multiple authors.
Oh, that's correct. What does that change?
Okay. That's not eyewitness testimony.
You said that John had multiple authors, and you're assuming that the same author that wrote the Revelations is the same one that claimed that they had no eyewitness testimony. So why are you making that assumption? That's not what was stated or claimed. That's an assumption that you made baselessly.
Okay. Yeah.
If you can concede that it has multiple authors, it's not a fact. You see what I'm saying? You claim it's a fact, but then when we go into it,
you don't even know what eyewitness testimony is. You think eyewitness testimony is fifth-hand hearsay.
Actually, I don't. I said that hearsay.
You just said that earlier.
Okay, actually, I didn't. I said hearsay.
You told the whole little story about telling somebody else's story, and you said,
Correct.
"How is that not eyewitness?"
Correct. Yes. Hearsay can be eyewitness testimony. The only reason hearsay is
Never.
It can.
Prove
so
it.
if again, I did.
Show me a single example of hearsay being
You could not point
eyewitness
out a
testimony.
fallacy
Go ahead.
in my argument.
Wait.
I can make the same
Go
argument
ahead.
again. If you say
Okay, go
see a
ahead.
dog by a cat, and you said I saw that dog bite the cat, and then I go to my brother and say, Ape said that he saw the dog bite the cat. I said what you said word for word. I gave the exact testimony you gave. Therefore, it is not only correct, but it is eyewitness testimony. But that doesn't change that it's hearsay.
Correct. These 10th-hand accounts that you're already admitting are deeply flawed. So I don't even understand why you're making this argument to begin with.
Actually, I'm conceding on the ones that are deeply flawed, not the others. I don't think the Revelations are deeply flawed.
You're telling me eyewitness testimony is accurate here, but you don't believe everybody. You just believe theirs. And the book is deeply flawed, and you admit when it's deeply flawed, but the eyewitness testimonies are not flawed because eyewitness testimony is accurately conveyed through oral methods for generations, for decades there.
Some of them, yes.
Which one?
Yes. Okay. I gave you an example, The Big Bang Theory. It is eyewitness testimony that has been accurately passed on through generations and confirmed. What do you mean? That's a perfect example of it.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming up, buddy, but it's devolving into something a little crazy there, I think. I don't really understand. I don't even know what we're talking about with the eyewitness testimony with the Big Bang. Like, I told you, you can show people the redshift. This isn't, hey, trust me, I seen this, bro. It's a scientific theory, like it's proven it's a fact. So it was turning weird, man. So we're going to bring up the next person if they're still in here. Thank you again for all the likes, the screen taps. We are really getting it at 2-something a.m. where I'm at here. I had no idea it would be this good of a stream here. Glad I did it now. Glad I did it. All right, let's bring up the next one. I think actuality. Let's see if they're still actuality.
All right.
Actuality. Are you there?
Man. Oh, good, man. Let's have a good debate. Let's do
Yeah, let's
this.
do it. You over 18?
Yeah, I'm 32. I've spoken to you before. I just changed my profile picture.
Oh, okay. You were a Christian, right?
Yeah. Still a Christian.
Okay, good. Well, we didn't have too good of a debate last time, did we?
No, we did. It was actually quite fruitful.
No, I'm just messing with you. I bet
Oh,
because you're
okay.
still a Christian. But anyway, which one of the subjects you like up here?
Look, I'm gonna attack your presuppositions on the Trinity as incoherent, through a reductio argument, if that's okay.
You're gonna read back what now?
I'm gonna attack your presuppositions on the
Oh,
prompt.
okay. Yeah. Oh,
Trinity
yeah.
is
Go ahead.
incoherent.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. So for the sake of debate, I think we should define our terms, right, so that we don't equivocate during the debate. Right.
Sure. I
So,
think the Trinity is God, Jesus being God Himself.
could I lay out the definitions, and then so that we don't equivocate
You
of
don't
the
agree with that?
Trinity?
Jesus is God.
Yeah. Jesus is God, but I just want to lay it out formally from citations. Yeah. So
Sure. I mean, I
God.
think we just settled it though. The Trinity is Jesus is God. Well, in the Holy Spirit,
Yeah.
but it's Jesus
But
being
but
God
what?
Himself. Yeah.
But there's a difference in that. Is it by identity or predication? This is why we have to make that clear before we go.
All right. Well, make whatever you want to make clear.
Okay, cool. So by God, Christians say we mean a person is God by predication. All right, that God is infinite, eternal, immutable, and the first cause of action. The Trinity, by the doctrine, is one divine essence, one usia, which exists in three distinct persons, hypostases, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. See Augustine, De Trinite, Book 1. Persons is a hypostasis, a subsistent, distinct reality within the divine essence. So a person is subsistent within the divine essence. Essence
I don't know what
ousia
none of
is.
that means, man.
You see, we can't proceed into a debate if we can't agree on terms.
Well, it don't
Because we
sound
could
like we're gonna be able
equivocate.
to, because if we can't use clear, simple language, I don't know how we're gonna get anywhere. Because I
I
don't know
think
what you're
it's
talking about
okay.
anymore.
Okay, what do I need to disambiguate to make it more simple?
Is Jesus God or not?
Jesus is God by predication. Do you know
Okay,
what
well
that
there
means?
we have the Trinity, so we can debate that, can't we?
But that's not the full in Trinity. That's not fully what defines the Trinity.
That's what the part that I'm saying is incoherent, is Jesus of Nazareth being God Himself. That's the incoherent part.
All right, but if we can't even agree about defining what
Okay,
the
well,
triune
I guess we
Godhead
can't agree
is,
on it. All right, appreciate it, buddy. Throw a shrimp on the Barbie for me, and let's bring up the next one. All right, ruthlessly typing. Let's bring up ruthlessly.
What's up?
What's up? You over
Okay.
18?
Yep.
Awesome. You're one of the Christians? I'm assuming you got Jesus on your profile picture there.
Oh yeah, the cross. Okay,
Right. So which one of these topics up here did the Lord send you to debate us on?
let's see. Well, but I guess I could switch it up.
What? You pausing out, dog. I think his signal's bad.
Hold up, I'm gonna request to come back up. And let me see. I don't know what's going on with it.
Oh, yeah. Try that real quick. I'll bring you back up if you need to. All right. We'll give him just a second here. See what happens. Not sure. He bounced out there. He sounded like a normal person though. So. Oh, here he comes.
There we go.
All right, testing 1, 2, 3. You there?
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I want to do the prophecies that it says he didn't fulfill any prophecies.
Right. So, can you show us some prophecy that the New Testament is claiming Jesus fulfills that he actually fulfills in context?
Isaiah 14. I don't know if you
I
want to get
didn't hear you, man. You
I
cut
can,
out again.
Isaiah 7:14. It's in the Old Testament.
That's yeah. Have you read Isaiah chapter 7?
Yes.
So you know that's a prophecy about the Assyrian invasion, right? It's a prophecy to King Ahaz. It's not about a Messiah.
No. It's not talk about a king. Yes. You know what the verse
We can
says?
barely hear you, man. You're cutting in and
So
out.
do you know what the verse says?
Yeah.
What does it say?
Which one?
Isaiah chapter 7, verse 14.
The context. Verse 14. Here, I'll just read it. I got it pulled up. It says, "Look, the young woman is with child and shall bear a son and shall name him Emmanuel."
Okay.
Oh man, I think you're gonna have to get some Wi-Fi or something there, buddy. I didn't hear too much in that, so we got to keep it rolling here. And once again, y'all gonna have to keep it to language the average folk can understand. Like, if we can make it simple, I don't understand why we would make it complicated. So we can agree, Jesus is God. That's the problem. Like, I don't need you to spend 5 minutes defining what that means. Like, we can just talk like normal people. If we can't do that here, there's no. Thanks for the fest pop. Thank you. Almost forgot about those things. Thanks so much. Heck yeah. Yeah, I ain't trying to get Phil broed. I love that term. I finally figured out that just means a bro that does philosophy. And I actually love philosophy, but I never looked at philosophy as like proof of shit. Philosophy is like helps you understand things and like how to live a better life. It's not like proving God arguments with fancy fucking words that nobody even knows what you're talking about. Y'all throw big words at me and I don't know what they mean. I'm gonna take them as disrespect. So let's keep it simple up in here for us simple folk. It's just what we got to do. All right, so let's bring up blah 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 blah, who is not there any longer, I don't think. Yeah, I'm definitely a simple folk. So like, I ain't gonna listen to people throw big words at me and then act like I'm stupid for not knowing what the fuck they're talking about. Maybe I am stupid for not knowing what they're talking about, but if you can't talk in plain, simple language that everybody understands, like, you don't need to know rules of logic. Like, the average person's smart enough to know where if someone's talking and they say something that don't make sense, we're going to call the bullshit out. Like, if you say you talk to you, even the dumbest of persons are going to raise their ears a little bit and say, that don't sound quite right to me. You know what I'm saying? So that's all we got to do. We can get the shit simple. We can get to the point here. No need to pussyfoot around subjects. All right, let's bring up Marine Mom. Marine Mom is not there anymore, I don't think. And then Jeff. Actuality, are you requesting back up on purpose? I might even let you back up, but you're going to have to throw it in the comments and tell me we can actually agree on some normal shit here and not define ourselves into a weird debate here. Same as usual, there's a bunch of people passing through the queue. Y'all tap that screen, please. That'll pump us out into the world here and we get some good Christian debates up in here. There's always a ton of people in the queue, but I think it's a lot of accidents and stuff. I appreciate the shit out of it. Essence, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the hell out of y'all. We doing it chill tonight. Doing it late night chill. Just chilling. We still got way more people in here than I thought. There's been 25, 30 people in here the whole time. I've been commanding like 75 and 80 people during the day. The day streams on the last couple. So that's pretty amazing. Thanks so much, guys. If y'all got any questions or anything you want to pose, throw them in the comments. There's people passing through here constantly still. Let's see if we can load any in. Oh, somebody's here.
Yo, what's going
Are
on,
you
bro?
there? What's
Hey, how's
up,
it going?
man? Are you
Yo,
it's
dude.
going
So like,
good?
I was just wondering, like, how did you? So I'm
Yeah.
also next
Could
Christian
you
too. I was
slow
wondering,
down
like,
for
what?
two? Hold on, slow down for 2 seconds. Are
My
you
bad,
over 18?
Yeah, I'm over 18.
Okay, cool. Are you are you one of the
Yeah.
Christians?
No,
All
I'm not a
right.
Christian. I mean, I used to be. So I'm actually I agree with you on a lot of stuff. I was just asking, like, what was your like journey? Like, what made you leave Christianity?
Oh, pretty much just the Bible.
Both.
Long
Like,
story
so like,
short,
what was like in the Bible?
it's
Like for
just
me, like for
it's
me specifically,
what-
like for
huh?
me, it was like the Old Testament, bro, and like because like the Old Testament like contradict the New Testament. Like you would go to the Old Testament, like Samuel 15:3. You know what I'm talking about?
Uh, Samuel 3:15. What? Wait, what?
You know,
Samuel 15.
I gotta talk slower. I gotta talk
Yeah,
slower. My
please
bad.
do. I'm
But
confused here.
yeah. So Samuel 15:3. Have you read that?
Samuel 15:3. First Samuel or second
Yes.
Samuel?
First.
Yeah, that's the slaughter of the Amalekites, right?
Right. It's just like for me, Christians say like Jesus is God, right? And the Father are one. So like
Yeah.
Jesus was out here commanding people to like kill children and like babies and stuff like that, if we go off that logic.
Yeah, yeah, he did.
Like,
It's pretty
like
messed
it's
up.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I'll
like,
argue about that all
are
the
you
time,
atheist
actually.
now or like what?
Yeah, I'm an atheist. Yeah.
Oh, I got you. That's chill. That's chill. Have you looked into any other religions or whatever?
I've read other texts, but I mean they're all the same, really.
I got you. Well, I just wonder, what's your thoughts on Islam?
They're the last in the line of a corrupted line of religion, so they're probably the most corrupt by linear
Interesting.
logic, I guess.
Yeah, what makes Islam corrupt?
It was just based on two earlier corrupt things, but they don't even care. It don't bother them at all. They think theirs is the truth and whatever else is wrong.
What makes Islam like not the truth? That like what in their scriptures that they think it's wrong? Because
Well, I mean, if the
Muslims
Old
believe
Testament ain't true and the Gospels ain't true, then the Quran certainly isn't true because it's based on them saying that Muhammad was the
no.
last prophet.
So we believe that the Quran is like it's not like it has nothing to do with the New and Old Testament. The Quran it's like its own book. Like we don't
Oh,
base it off
wait,
the New and Old
are
Testament.
you a Muslim?
I'm looking into it. I say we like because I just like what I've been leaning towards now. I was just trying to have a conversation with ex-Christians too, so we can like have the same like mental
You was
state,
leaning toward
right?
Islam?
Yeah. I just want to
Oh,
like get
good.
your take on it, just so I can see how other people feel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please let me
And
give you
like
some. I got to try a little harder now. We can't
yeah,
have you going over there.
yeah. So like I'm a Shia Muslim, right? So like a lot of people try to use the
So
argument
you
that
are a
Aisha was
Muslim.
or I lean. All right, let me rephrase that. I'm gonna say I'm Muslim, but I'm going towards the point that I'm actually leaning towards Muslim, but I'm not actually a Muslim yet. We're just going. I'm just gonna say I'm a Muslim. You hear what I'm saying?
Sort of. Okay,
Okay,
so
man. So I
so
think I'm
Muhammad makes the
okay.
same false prophecy as Jesus. What do you think of that?
So the thing is, Muhammad, the prophet, I'm gonna say it here, the prophet, peace be upon him, he never made any of the claims of his own.
You're a
Right?
Muslim, ain't
He
you?
spoke like, huh? I'm just trying to be respectful, but
You're a
my
Muslim,
thing,
though, ain't you?
yeah, I'm a Muslim. Okay, so
Okay, yeah.
the prophet Muhammad,
So
peace
why
be
was you
upon him,
lying
he
about
like
your religion?
huh?
Why was you lying about it?
I mean, I guess you say I'm Muslim. I was just trying to like do it from like an agnostic point of view, but since you want to like persist in like, yeah, I guess you can say I'm a Muslim.
Okay. Well, thanks for proving you're a liar. But you talk way too fast. So let's bring up. We don't talk to liars, man. Sorry. If you don't even have the balls to admit your religion, we don't respect that very much. Sorry if that sounds disrespectful, but that's just how I see it. But you don't have to act that way. So. All right. Well, actuality. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna drop you back, and he'll request up again if he's still here. Look, you're gonna have to come in the comments though and tell me like if you want to come back up or not. We can talk like two damn normal people. Thanks for the heart. Thanks so much. Oh, I got my heart. Yeah. I appreciate that. Firebrand Atheist. That sounds freaking awesome. Welcome to the Kingdom of the Ape. The Planet of the Apes. That's a good movie, right? Thanks so much, Firebrand. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Yeah, y'all debate each other there in the comments. I wish TikTok had like a. I wish you could type more than a freaking sentence in there, because a lot of times people like get to typing and you got it, since you can't type it all at once, like your actual argument or whatever your instruction gets like separated. It's kind of fucked up. Firebrand, thank you. Thank you for the taps, guys. We are pumping those likes up. That's what gets us out to the folks. Man, there's still folks rolling through here. It's just getting one to actually load in. Oh, here come one. Maybe they won't lie about their religion.
Maybe they won't.
Hey,
Hello.
Kane, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Good. Are you over 18?
Yeah, I'm 27.
That's a good age. That's a good age. Are you one of the Christians?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So which one of these topics up here did the Lord send you to debate us on tonight?
Well, I think that beginning, before we discuss whether prophecy was ever fulfilled or the Trinity is incoherent, any of the theology around these things, I think that the best thing to look at is whether Jesus resurrected or not. Right?
I don't think he did. So,
Why is that?
I mean, how do you prove something like that?
Awesome. So there is no proof for that, but there is evidence, I feel. And that evidence being the apostles, the individuals. Okay, so let's backtrack for actually a second. You at least know that Jesus is a real historical individual, right?
Yeah, I think he was probably a real person, yeah.
Right. Okay, so awesome.
I'm like 65, 35, somewhere in there.
There's a couple of other individuals that we know that historically existed. So here's some good news. There's some base ground facts, objective truths that we can base our understanding of things on. And I will admit, eventually there becomes a point of faith. But what we can say for sure is that Matthew, Luke, Mark, John, gospel writers definitely existed. Paul definitely existed. There's a couple of other biblical characters that we have more than enough evidence for to say they definitely existed.
Well, I mean, I can grant you that pretty much all of them existed. So, I mean, how do you get to the prophecies being true and stuff?
Okay, so the prophecies being true according to the Bible hinges completely on the resurrection. If Jesus did not resurrect, we are fools according to the Bible, right?
Well, according to Paul.
Right. Okay, so the
not according to anybody else
is that there is some evidence for this. We do know that the apostles that we objectively know existed. Some of them we have thinner evidence for, I'll admit. But
well, sure, but I've already granted they existed. Like how?
Right.
Like we'll have to get to the meat here. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So they definitely believed and went to their deaths. Right. And this has been psychologically studied.
I got you. I still agree, man.
At the least that they saw Christ resurrected. They believed at the bare minimum. So there's at least some good grounds for faith, because we believe that they definitely went to their deaths.
Well, lots of people believe lots of stuff and go to their deaths believing it, but that doesn't mean it's true, though.
It doesn't mean it's true, but there's at least grounds for belief. I think
the Heaven's Gate cult all went to their death thinking a UFO was going to pick them up and take them to heaven in a alien spaceship. You don't believe that's true, do you?
Comes from
They believed it. They all unalived themselves.
Right, but that was mythological.
It's pretty strong conviction, though, right?
Mm-hmm. But the thing being...
That's what I'm saying. It's really not going to get us anywhere to make these schematic type
so hold arguments. On. Let's back up, because we're having a debate forum right now. That's actually a logical fallacy. aliens don't point to evidence that Christ didn't resurrect. So
I'm saying neither does
aliens
belief. It doesn't point to
completely
truth just because somebody believes it.
Sure, no, but if they believe it to the point of going to death, it
Yeah, well,
doesn't
they did it too.
necessarily prove it, but it shows that there's.
It just
I mean,
shows they
have
believed
our
it really
whole-
strongly, right?
They should, huh?
It just shows they believed it really strongly.
Sure.
Sure. Well, I can agree with you that they're real. I agree they believed it. So, like, let's get to some prophecies here. Let's make
So wait,
make
let's
Jesus this
back up
person
for
they say he
another
is.
second. So you're saying that 12 plus people plus supposedly 500,000 people, we don't actually have any records of those claims, and I'll admit that. But there is at least the accounting
That
of
makes
the
500,000 times 0. It's still 0.
What is it?
Didn't you just mention 500,000 witnesses with no accounts?
Sure. Yes, but that's
That makes
the only account that we
500,000
have for
times
them
0. That's
is the
still
Bible.
0.
In
But it's
my
5,000.
opinion,
or
the only
500, I'm
the
sorry,
only thing that
apologies.
really
500
takes is that
witnesses.
12. You're gonna sit there and tell me that 12 people hallucinated the same thing at the same time.
50-something people hallucinated an alien at the same time. Why don't you believe them?
Would they go to their death saying that?
They did.
Give me a name of anybody who's done that.
The Heaven's Gate cult. Have you never heard of them?
I've heard of it somewhat. Is that what
Well, there's
happened
50 or
with
60
Nancy?
people that unalived themselves because they thought a mother spaceship was going to take them to heaven. And trust me, they believed it because they're unalive. They went. They did it.
But that's another thing.
Jamestown, that was
We need to
700 something
understand
people
something
that
here.
drank the Kool-Aid there.
The mythology that came.
I'm just
from
saying we're not going to get to truth through people believed it. Like, I agree they believed it. I agree they would go to their death believing it. I agree there was early church fathers that were literally ripped apart by wild animals because they believed they were doing the right thing. Like, they
Can I
wanted
emphasize something to
they
you
wanted
really
this
quick?
to happen. You know what I mean? But I mean,
Out of
let's just get
respect,
to the
like,
prophecies, man.
what
Yeah.
about? Okay, so let me ask something first, please.
Okay.
What does Heaven's Gate like? Okay, so the ideology that comes from alien abductions began somewhere. Where did that begin?
I have no freaking idea. I imagine from a movie in the 50s called Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Actually, no. It was a couple.
I don't know.
that
Why
got-
are we talking about this? I was just using that as an example. I don't know why
Okay.
people believe in aliens or magical happenings in this book either. Like, you know, it says 2 dudes threw their sticks down that turned into snakes and fought each other. Like, I don't understand why anybody believes this.
Why do you discount that? Because there's actually it's so
Why would I
such
believe
a
it? It sounds like a bunch of magical stuff and a myth to me.
it's so true that they're not the only ones that accounted the story. Pagans accounted this story. Islam accounted the story.
Okay.
There is symbolism throughout all of history of this happening. That's insane to me that you actually wouldn't be able to believe it.
It's insane that I wouldn't believe that 2 guys threw sticks down that turned into snakes and fought each other.
Yes, it is more
Really?
likely that the possible
That's interesting. Yeah.
that the impossible was done
Call
than
me a
the
weirdo.
possible conclusions.
Guess I'm just weird like that.
I think it takes more faith to be an atheist than it does to be a Christian.
I know you just didn't say what I think. Did you just say I have more
did.
faith than you?
Yeah, I did.
You're telling me I have more faith in science or whatever than you have in Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior?
Science that was based around biblical texts, sure. Dude,
Wow.
the fathers
Wow.
of science were
I
Christian.
am
And you
blown
have to admit
away.
that
We
they
have
had to
never
be
had an
because there
admission
was
like
no
this
other
before.
way.
I had no idea that I had more faith in atheism than
Hey,
you,
look
a
up who
Christian,
George
have in Jesus
Georges
Christ.
Francis.
Did
Look up
y'all
who
hear
Georges
that?
Francis is.
Woo!
All of the fathers of science
You
were
really-
Christian.
Are you not worried right now? Shouldn't you be working on your faith? If an atheist has more faith than you, like, isn't that a problem?
All that it takes is a mustard seed.
Well, apparently we got way more than you. Yeah, that's not a problem for you. Like, your whole religion is
No,
based on
sir.
your faith. I would think you would say our faith is 10 times stronger than the atheists.
No, sir.
Wow.
Those who are the least in the kingdom are the most in the kingdom.
I got you. I just never imagined you would admit something like that. Wow.
I don't see any problem with it. I humbling myself.
Sure
to
you
the point
don't.
where
You said it out loud, so I guess you don't have a problem with it. So
Yeah.
I mean, like, Jesus says faith is pretty important, you know. So if the heathens got more faith than you do, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's a huge, huge problem for you.
Not necessarily. Like Jesus said, it takes faith the size of a mustard seed, barely even being able to believe.
Well, if you got a
That's all
mustard
it
seed,
takes.
then I got the mountain, buddy. That's a problem.
You're gonna
You
move the
really need to work
mountain.
on your faith, strengthen your faith. If the dirty heathens got more faith than you, it doesn't look
You
good.
got
for
faith in
religion.
your
Your
got
conviction
faith in
isn't
your
strong at
secular
all.
beliefs, sure. You got stronger
Sure,
faith in
but
your
they shouldn't be
secular
stronger than
beliefs.
your faith in Jesus Christ. This is crazy.
I've got faith. That's all that's required.
I'm more confident in science than you are in Jesus.
So
Wow.
only the wicked boast about their good deeds. I rely on Christ.
I didn't say
Christ
nothing about
saves
good
me,
deeds.
not
You
my
said I had
faith.
more faith than you do, and I just
All it
shocked me.
takes is a small amount of faith.
Well, if
Okay,
you
so
got a
let's
small amount,
argue
then I have
about
a
this
large
for a
amount.
moment.
So
Okay, so drama stuff, that's good and all, but I'm sure you've got actual points that you want to make, right?
yeah. If we could get to some actual prophecies here, that would be great.
All right, cool.
Didn't you bring up Isaiah chapter 7 earlier?
I didn't bring up Isaiah, but I think that's weird that you brought up Isaiah because that's the first book that was just coming into my head.
It's like I'm a psychic.
Okay, so I'm assuming that you're going to bring up Isaiah chapter 7 then.
Sure. If you want to bring that one up, I will.
So let me see. While I'm doing that, let me ask you a
You know
question.
what Isaiah chapter 7 is about?
Not offhand, but I've read Isaiah.
Well, you understand
Actually,
that
let's finish
Matthew
this
and
reading.
Luke quote a prophecy being fulfilled from this chapter, right?
Huh?
Matthew and Luke quote a prophecy being fulfilled from this chapter.
This is the only area, to be honest, where I'm a little weaker. I have read Isaiah, but I haven't. I just read it, right? So,
Well,
not
yeah, I
all
mean
of it
that's
has
cool.
been
I mean,
digested,
I'm not
but-
trying to drag you there. I'm just saying, like,
no.
so Matthew and Luke are claiming there's a prophecy. I'll just tell you my problem with it. So Matthew and Luke are claiming there's a prophecy being fulfilled here about a Messiah being born from a virgin. But if you actually just read the chapter here, there's nothing at all about any Messiah of the sort. This is a prophecy about the Assyrian invasion,
was already
specifically a prophecy to King Ahaz, saying by the time this child knows how to tell right from wrong, the two kings who are attacking you are going to have their lands deserted and you'll be safe. This don't have anything to do with a Messiah. So Matthew saying that this is a prophecy about Jesus is contextually nowhere in the same universe.
I'm at Isaiah now. Okay, let's see. 7. 7, just the whole chapter.
You could probably, the prophecy that it's talking about, that Matthew's quoting, goes down to about, I don't know, verse 17. The actual prophecy he quotes is from verse 14. But if you read the whole little chapter there, it's about, it tells you what's happening. And it says King Pekah and King Rezin are attacking King Ahaz in Judah, who is the king of Judah. And they're trying to conquer it and install a client king who's easy to control. And it says that Ahaz and his people are really, really scared. So God sends Isaiah to comfort him, basically, and reassure him that by the time this child called Emmanuel knows how to tell right from wrong, that the two kings attacking him are going to have their lands deserted. That's it. It doesn't say this child's going to do anything. It doesn't say this child's going to be anything. It's straight up a timeline for King Ahaz and
So wait,
when the Judah's going to be saved from the Assyrian king. Yeah.
but what does that matter a whole lot?
It matters because Matthew is saying this is a prophecy about a Messiah, and it don't have anything at all to do with the Messiah. So Matthew is
So
giving
wait, wait,
bad
wait. Let's
information.
back up because that's
Okay.
actually irrelevant. Just because it
It's
doesn't
not.
say explicitly that it's about the Messiah, it's within prophecy, prophetic
Yeah, it's a
from the
story, and
prophets.
Matthew is saying
So
it has to do
therefore,
with the Messiah, but it don't.
huh?
Yeah, I'm saying Matthew says it has to do with the Messiah, but it don't have nothing to do with the Messiah. So it's contextually
That's not.
divorced from what's actually happening here.
Does it say that it does it explicitly? This doesn't explicitly say. I just read it all. It doesn't explicitly say anything about it not being about Messiah.
Yeah, and it doesn't say it is about a Messiah. It doesn't say this child's going to do anything at all.
Okay,
That's how you know it's not
where's
about
the
a Messiah.
relevance?
Not because it says, hey, by the way, we're not talking about Messiahs here. That's not how scriptures read.
That no,
Yeah.
no. What I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it's literally illogical. What I'm telling you, it's literally illogical, bro.
What is?
It defies the law of logic.
Okay, show
What
me
I'm
somewhere
telling you,
this chapter
the
has
relevant
anything at
law
all
of
to do with the
relevance.
Messiah. Show us where this chapter has anything at all to do with the Messiah.
What,
Show us
dude?
where Isaiah chapter 7 has anything at all to do with the Messiah. What does it say this child's
Math.
going to do? Where does it mention a Messiah? Where does it call this kid anointed or a coming king? Like, it never says anything about this child doing anything besides being a timeline.
That doesn't matter. That's
I know it
irrelevant
doesn't matter to you
information
because you
if
don't
it
understand the
happened
immense
later
problem
within the
here.
Bible.
I know.
No, I understand fully well. And attacking my intelligence is also ad hominem. You're a bad debater. You know that, right?
Okay, sure.
You come in
So can you
false
show us
faith,
where this has
in
anything to
bad
do with the
faith,
Messiah?
huh?
Can you show us where this has anything to do with the Messiah?
Because Jesus was Messiah and he was born of
I'm
a
talking about
virgin.
Isaiah.
Okay, in Isaiah, it doesn't matter because Jesus came later,
It doesn't
Messiah,
matter.
right?
It doesn't matter. Thank you.
And it just, yes, it is
It doesn't
irrelevant
matter that it's not
information
talking
that
anything
it
about a
doesn't
Messiah or anything
specifically
like that of the sort. It
specify.
just
No,
matters that
it
the New
was
Testament
talking
thinks it
about
is.
Messiah. No, you're twisting my words, which is another form of fallacy. Okay, so another straw man. What we're doing once again is saying that this is not about Messiah. It was about Messiah because it was about Jesus.
So show us what makes it about a Messiah from the context of the chapter. You
It
just
is
saying it's
simply
about a
telling
Messiah
people
doesn't make
that
it about a
that
Messiah.
this
You actually
child
have to
would
show us
come.
that. Like, I can read you and show you where it's a war. You want to say that? You want me to read it to you?
Okay, so once again, like I said, what you're saying is illogical. It doesn't
No, it's not.
really matter a whole
What you're
lot
saying is
whether
a
it was
lie. You're making it up.
specified.
You're making
No,
this
you're
up.
just
You
a
can't
bad.
show us
You're a
where this
bad
has
debater,
anything to do
bro.
with the Messiah. You already said it don't have anything to do with the
Hey, you
Messiah.
got bitched out on this, bro. Definitely.
Okay, so
I
can you
made.
show us where this has anything to do with the Messiah?
Huh?
Can you show us where this has anything to do with the Messiah through the context? Yes or no?
Why are we circling back to this? I just said it was
Because we never
about
finished it.
Jesus
You won't
because
answer my
Jesus
question.
fulfilled other prophecy. He was
Nope.
Messiah. He was
Show us
born
in
of a
Isaiah
virgin.
chapter
So
7 where
it's
it has anything
irrelevant
to do with being a
information.
Messiah. Can
You
you
might
do
not
that or
like it
not?
because it questions your
Can you show us
entire
this or not? I'm
whole
only going to
image
ask one
thing.
more time.
But as I've said,
Can you? Okay.
it
All
was
right. Well,
about
thanks for coming up,
Jesus.
buddy.
Therefore, you're the one.
Obviously, just saying it's about Jesus isn't an argument. You have to actually show us through the words. Just like I said, I can show you where it says, you know what? Let's just read it. In case anybody out there is wondering, let's see what Isaiah chapter 7 actually says. It'll only take like 2 minutes, so be patient, folks. In the days of King Ahaz, son of Jotham, son of Uzziah, king of Judah, King Rezin of Aram, and King Pakal, son of Remaliah, of Israel, went up to attack Jerusalem, but could not conquer it. When the house of David heard that Aram had allied itself with Ephraim, the heart of Ahaz and the heart of his people shook as the trees of the forest shake before the wind. Then the Lord said to Isaiah, "Go out to meet Ahaz, you and your son Shear-Jashub, at the end of the conduit of the upper pool on the highway to the fuller's field, and say to him, Take heed, be quiet, do not fear, and do not let your heart be faint, because of these two smoldering stumps of firebrands, because of the fierce anger of Rezin and Aram the son of Remaliah, because Aram with Ephraim and the son of Remaliah has plotted evil against you, saying, Let us go up against Judah and terrify it, and conquer it for ourselves, and make the son of Tabeel king in it. Therefore, thus says the Lord God, it shall not stand, and it shall not come to pass. For the head of Aram is Damascus, and the head of Damascus is Rezin. Within 65 years, Ephraim will be shattered, no longer a people. The head of Ephraim is Samaria, and the head of Samaria is the son of Remaliah. If you do not have faith, if you do not stand firm in faith, then you shall not stand at all. So what have we just read here in those first few paragraphs? We have read that King Rezin and King Pakal are attacking Jerusalem, and they're trying to conquer it to install, what did we just read? The son of Tabeel king in it. He's more like a client king, like he's easy to control, right? That's why I'm just reading this, because everybody listening, you can just tell me what you think of this context here. You don't need no scholars here to interpret this mess. It's easy. So far, King Rezin, King Pakal, attacking Ahaz, Isaiah is sent to comfort him. And this is the actual prophecy here. It says, Isaiah gives Ahaz the sign of Emmanuel. Oh, who's he giving that to? King Ahaz. Not to other people, maybe waiting on a Messiah. Nope, he's giving this to King Ahaz. Again, the Lord spoke to Ahaz, saying, Ask a sign of the Lord your God. Let it be as deep as Sheol or as high as heaven. But Ahaz said, I will not ask, and I will not put the Lord to the test. Then Isaiah said, Hear then, O house of David, is it too little for you to weary mortals, that you weary my God also? Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. Look, the young woman is with child, and shall bear a son, and shall name him Emmanuel. He shall eat curds and honey, and by the time he knows how to refuse evil and choose good, the land before whose two kings you are in dread will be deserted. Oh, that's it. That's the whole fucking prophecy. So, yeah, dude, that has squat to do with the Messiah. It doesn't say this child's going to do anything. You know good and well you can't show me where it says he's going to do anything or it's a Messiah, so you kept bitching out and acting like I was the one debating bad here. So we all just read it. What do you think that context means? It's about the king of Assyria, the Assyrian invasion. Isaiah's telling him, ask a sign of the Lord your God. And Ahaz says, I'm not going to ask to put the Lord to the test, because you're kind of not supposed to do that. But that was kind of the wrong answer. So Isaiah says, all right, well, the Lord himself is going to give you a sign. Look, this young woman, not a virgin, is with child. This woman is pregnant. By the time this child knows how to refuse evil and choose good, the two kings attacking you are going to have your land deserted. Contextually, that is Isaiah 7. So when Matthew comes along and bullshits people into thinking this is some kind of messianic prophecy, then apparently their minds just can't leave that, even though they said they just read it, and it seems to be pretty contextually clear. Don't have anything to do with the Messiah. So, there's that. All right. Let's keep going. Why not? Oh, nobody in the queue, actually. There was 3 people, but they dropped out as soon as I opened up. So, never mind. Host is a clown. Maybe I am. Maybe I am. I have basic reading comprehension, though, and I know what this book says. So your book's a clown, I think. You can come up and talk about it, though. We can decide who's a clown. We can see who's right or wrong here. Not if you spaz out and name call like most of the people are doing. Breaking Down Christ. Oh, that's a real person. Okay. Breaking Down Christ, you there?
How you doing? How you doing? I'm trying to make this fast.
Doing good. Doing good. Are you over 18?
Yeah.
And you're a Christian, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So, which one of these topics here did the Lord send you to debate us on tonight?
Well, I just wanted to touch on what the guy before, I guess the discussion you guys had before. I believe that um, after Jesus' life and crucifixion, I believe that the writers of the gospel went back searching the scriptures, looking for ways that Jesus, that the scriptures pointed to Jesus as being the Messiah. So when you
Like
say
Pesher,
Isaiah,
right?
say it again.
Like Pesherah?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, never mind then. Sorry.
But cause Isaiah 7, for them to find out that he was from a virgin, they put that together with Isaiah 7, like, oh, okay, this is how he's the Messiah, because it was talked about in Isaiah 7. Cause I like to ask people, like, why do you think they pick certain scriptures to point back to Jesus? Him
Well,
riding
that's
on a,
actually what
oh, go
Pesher
ahead.
is. That's what I was talking a second ago. If you look back at the Dead Sea Scrolls, they
Mhm.
actually had commentaries called Pesher or Pesherah or Pesherim, where they was literally just going back into the Old Testament and reinterpreting, or why do I always say reinterpreting? They were reinterpreting the scripture, right? So what the New Testament authors is basically doing, in my opinion, is going back into the Old Testament like that, and they're just grabbing any sentence they can that sounds like Jesus and trying to apply it to Jesus, even if it's done dishonestly and completely separate from the context of what's actually going on in the Old Testament, which it is. Like I said, this isn't even Isaiah 7's not even a messianic prophecy. It has nothing to do with the Messiah. And there's lots of actual messianic prophecies you can look to, but this ain't one of them.
Well, so I actually have to look into that. That's, I didn't know that, so I'm gonna look into that. But I do think when people, well, prophets, when they see visions or future events, it's not all clear cut all the time. It's bits and pieces.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be, though, according to God in Deuteronomy 18. You're supposed to be able to test prophecy.
You should be able to test prophecy, yes. But it's the thing that he was prophesying was about the coming Messiah. That's why I think there was a disconnect between the Jews and Jesus. Because when he said he was the
Well, there was a
Messiah,
disconnect because the Jews knew their book, and Jesus wasn't fulfilling any of these, any of these prophecies that the New Testament's saying he is.
well, I believe he did it. When you have, like, what is it, Psalms? I think it's 122. When he say he was pierced in his
That's just 22, but that's not. So that's what I'm talking about. Like that's not even a prophecy. That's a lament of David. It's David being surrounded by enemies, and he's saying, "God, why have you forsaken me?" Like you remember that part?
yeah. But where's the is that the one where he's saying that he was pierced? His
Well,
feet his feet was pierced in his,
newer Bibles say pierced, but the actual Hebrew probably either says, instead of saying they pierced my hands and my feet, it probably either says they dug at my hands and my feet or they bound my hands and my feet. The translation I have says they bound my hands and my feet.
I'm gonna check that because I haven't checked the Hebrew. I just checked the
Yeah.
translation.
But I mean, like I said, either way, that's not even a prophecy. That's just a lament of David. That's more like a prayer than a prophecy. That's David talking to God, not God talking to David, giving people information through him, you know.
Well, I would agree with you, except for that David is supposed to be like the what is it, the forerunner of Jesus. Like they're supposed to be kind of connected. So if he's saying that,
Well,
it's
not
kind of like
prophet
Jesus.
wise, though.
Say it again?
Well, they're not connected prophet wise. They're connected genetically. David's a ruler, like a literal king. Like the important points on David aren't that he's a prophet. It's that he's a king, like the literal ruler of Jerusalem.
I get that. I'm saying like they're like what they were supposed to be in a sense is kind of connected because um I didn't even know this until the other day. That did you know that Saul, King Saul, who was hunting David, is kind of like the same Saul in the New Testament hunting the new Christians. But we see a change, and they're both from the same tribe. King Saul and Saul from the New Testament, they're both from, I think, the tribe of, I want to say, Benjamin. And we see how the similarities between the two, basically. my legs or they pierced my feet, that he was speaking.
Yeah, I'm just saying I don't think that's a prophecy. That's a lament of David. It's more like a prayer. Like a prophecy has to be testable information according to Deuteronomy 18. You have to be able to know if something came true or not, what this prophet said. Like it's giving you a way to validate a prophet and not just have to trust them because they're saying they're coming from God.
I'm gonna have to look into Deuteronomy because where's the situation I think in I want to say Second Samuel where a prophet told the guy to stay at his house when God told him not to, and you remember that story and the guy ended up dying because God sent a lion to kill him or something like that. So it's like
It sounds vaguely familiar. But I
got go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say there's like 3 different stories that I'm trying to relate in my head to it, but I can't remember that one specifically.
So I have to re-look into the Deuteronomy thing as far as
Sure. So my problem is that like if you read the first 2 chapters of Matthew, it gives 5 prophecies. Matthew quotes 5 prophecies from the Old Testament that he says Jesus fulfills, right? But if you go and read them, they never have anything contextually to do with Jesus, or really even anything that Matthew's trying to make it sound like they're talking about.
correct.
Like Isaiah 7, some of them aren't even messianic prophecies. Literally only one is, and that's the one from Micah 2, if you consider that, which it is messianic, I guess. But one of them isn't even in there. It's completely made up. It's not even the Old Testament. It's just a big old mistake.
I agree with you. That's why I think that P word you used in the beginning. I think that's exactly what they were doing.
Yeah.
And I think those prophecies had to point to something or some like because you have Zechariah, you have Malachi, you have all these people just saying these things, and it's like what are they talking about?
Well, they're not talking about Jesus, I don't think. He don't fit the description. That's why the Jews rejected him. It's like, who is this dude claiming he's the son of God? Like, where are the rocks at? Y'all grab a rock. This crazy guy's up here claiming he's a Messiah.
And I think,
yeah, pretty much.
I think it was a setup in the sense that they were so focused on a military Messiah when.
Well, that's what they were promised.
Yeah, and I think, oh shit, I'm gonna have to go because, like I said, I'm at work and somebody just pulled up, so I will come back after that.
Oh, cool, man. Your voice is kind of bouncing up and down anyway, but yeah, come holler back at us there. I'll drop you back here. We appreciate you. It was getting hard to tell if he was a Christian, or if it was, why he was a Christian. It was a little mistake there. Oh shit. Well, I've got almost 10 followers on this live tonight, so that's pretty damn cool. I wasn't sure what to expect this late. I imagine it would bounce around. We've had at least 20 or 30 people in here the whole time. On my morning routines, I'd be popping, I don't know, 75, 80 people sometime in the last couple. So that's pretty amazing. Getting some good support, some good debates in here. Whether you think I'm crushing the Christians or whether you're a Christian and you think I'm getting crushed, come on in and enjoy. It's for everybody. Got a free speech zone pretty much. Like, I really don't care what you say, what you call me. Just be able to have a dang conversation. Like, you can call me whatever names you want to call me while I'm not in the middle of my sentence for the 3rd time trying to ask a question. And if I have to ask you the same question like 10 times in a freaking row, I think I'm good. We'll just move on to somebody that's capable of answering questions as well. But, like I said, pretty much free speech. If you say something dumb, come show the world you're dumb. If you want to say something smart, show the world you're smart. Oh, there's somebody here. Joey?
I got like 5 minutes because I'm also at work, but you said a prophecy has to be provable and testable, yes, according to Deuteronomy 18?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the end of Isaiah 52 speaks of a Savior, a Messiah being pierced, and all through 53. I won't read the whole thing because it'll take too long.
Does it say
But
Messiah?
why was Isaiah written 730 years before Christ was born? If it wasn't,
I don't think Isaiah 53 is about a Messiah.
It is. Read it. The end of 52.
I have read it, and I still don't think it is because I've read it.
And you're wrong.
No,
I gave you a
Isaiah
provable fact.
52 prefaces
The end of
Isaiah 53. That's it tells you the first two sentences in Isaiah 53 are questions. And if you read the part right before the suffering servant song, it gives you some real important information to consider in there. It's telling you who is seeing the day of salvation happen. And it's also saying these kings are going to see these things. So when it starts in chapter 53, it's asking those questions to show you whose perspective this is being told from. But it also tells you something else really important in chapter 52. It tells you what the day of salvation is. And that's the day the exiles depart from Babylon. Not the day Jesus died
And
on
to
the
go
cross.
back to something you said to the guy about the Hebrew word for pierce is ka'aru, K-A'-A-R-U, or chalal, C-H-A-L-A-L, which means to bore or to pierce. So it's a literal definition of to pierce a hand.
Yeah, but the Hebrew doesn't say that.
But it does. I just gave you the Hebrew translation.
It
and you're wrong.
doesn't. I just read Hebrew. I told you my translation says bound. They bound my hands and my feet. Joshua, what's happening, buddy? All right, let me read you this last little part from right before you get to the actual servant song in chapter 52. It says, "The Lord has bared his holy arm before the eyes of all nations, and all the ends of the earth shall see the salvation of God." And then it says, "Depart, depart, go out from there, touch no unclean thing." They're leaving Babylon. It says you won't go out in haste, you won't go out in flight. So this is what it's talking about. It's talking about the people watching this happen are watching the Babylonian captivity come to an end. That's the day of salvation. It's not about a Messiah.
But he was pierced for our transgressions. I gave you the Hebrew. You still don't want to see it.
That's
So
Israel.
you just
They're
wanted
watching
to
the
be when
Babylonian
you're wrong.
exile.
Also,
no,
if you
I
were
just
really
read
a
it.
Christian at one point, you wouldn't be an ex-Christian. That's not a possible thing.
Yeah, I would.
1 John
You haven't read
2:19.
Hebrews 6?
I've read most of the Bible, bud. Probably
You
more
should
than
probably
you.
read it a little better because
I
Hebrews
got
6
mine open
says
right
you
now at
can
work,
be
Chief.
taste the heavenly gift and fall away.
Okay, and you're gonna taste the hellfire, bro.
Okay. Nobody's scared of
And I'm
your
gonna sit
little
there and laugh
threats.
when we get to
That
judge you, bro.
scares like simpletons and small children. It's not going to scare me. Look, so if you can make an
Well, you
actual
fall
argument
into
about
the
the
children
scripture,
and
that's good.
simpleton category.
Well, if I do, then your little hell threat should scare me, but it don't. It's a fairy tale. And I'm
Oh,
sure
it
you're
ain't gonna
scared
scare
of
you now,
yourself,
but it'll
but
scare you
it
when you're
don't scare
sitting in
me.
it. Scare you when you're sitting in it,
I'm
Chief.
sure. Yeah, I'm sure it will. Anyway,
By the
you
way, you
heard what
know
I
we
just
as
read, right?
believers get to judge y'all at
You
the
heard
end,
what I
right?
just read, right? In chapter 52?
Yeah, but you went. I gave you the
Okay,
exact
so
verses
who's the
that you
Lord
need.
bearing his holy arm to?
His people.
And who's that?
In that context, would be the Israelites.
It says, "The Lord has bared his holy arm before the eyes of all nations." So again, who's he bearing his holy arm to?
Which verse was that? I lost it. Sorry.
That's in chapter 52, verse 10. "The Lord has bared his holy arm before the eyes of all nations, and all the ends of the earth shall see the salvation of God."
Yeah, the power of the salvation would spread to the ends of the earth.
So
Meaning
who is
everybody.
seeing? So everybody, that's right. The whole world is seeing the salvation, right?
Correct.
All
I
right.
misunderstood you. I
Verse
apologize.
11 says, "Depart, depart, go out from there." Exclamation point. It's saying, go! It's hollering this. So where are they departing from?
Assuming wherever they're at. Where are they at
You
in
don't know
this
where they're
chapter?
at?
I mean, I told you I started at the end to go to 53 because I wasn't going with the whole chapter of 52 because it
Sure, but don't
touches
you know where
on
this...
several different
I've already
things.
said it a couple times. You don't know where this is taking place?
Zion, Jerusalem,
Oh.
Israel,
Oh, boy.
like I just said.
They're departing Jerusalem? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, that's incorrect.
Okay. That's also, it's not an exclamation point, it's a semicolon, by the way, which means the
It's
sentence
an
didn't end, it's a
exclamation point. I'm
continued
sitting
thought.
here looking at it.
I'm sitting here looking at mine too. Depart, depart,
Okay, well,
depart, comma,
we
depart,
got two
comma,
different
go up from there,
translations. It
semicolon.
really don't matter. You don't know where they're departing from. We've established that. They're departing from Babylon. You've read more of
I got an
Isaiah than just
ESV.
chapter 52 and 53, right?
I have a ESV. So maybe
That's an all right translation.
it's my preferred translation. I don't like the King James.
Okay. Well, I wasn't using the King James. I don't like it
No, I
either.
know. I'm just saying. Most Christians like to think the King James is the best translation. It is not.
I completely agree. It's one of the worst ones.
But back to the original point of you said a prophecy needs to be provable, and then if you read through the entire verses that I said, which you seem to be skipping over the specific verses that I've stated, 52:13 to
Yeah, and you're
53:12,
skipping over the main point of what I just stated, of what
because you're
Isaiah
trying to
states
counter my
himself
point with a
right
straw man
before it gets to
argument.
the. It's not a straw man. I'm reading the dang thing, dude. What are you talking about?
This is how you people debate, is you go off the point to
I
make your
am
point.
reading the context of the story to show you that saying this is about Jesus is ridiculous.
But
Because
it
I've
is.
actually read it. I actually know what it's about. And it's not talking about Jesus or a Messiah.
But it is.
No, it's not. Again, who is the Lord bearing his holy arm
53:5, he
to?
was pierced for our transgressions, he was crushed for our iniquities. Upon him was the
And why do you
chastisement that
think
brought
that's
us
about
peace.
Jesus? Why do you think that's about Jesus?
Who else besides the thief on the cross and Barabbas were put on a
Who does
cross
chapter
in the Bible?
41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 48, 49, and 51 all say the servant is that's suffering here?
Let me go back to 42, 40, whichever one you want me to pick.
You know, when the Lord refers to he and him, he is actually referring to multiple people, right?
Well, behold my servant, the first three words of 42. Whom I uphold, my chosen. Behold my servant. That's singular. One. Individual.
Because that's how it refers to Israel. Like, it literally says this over and over in the Old Testament. Like in Hosea 11, where it says, when Israel was a child, I loved him, and out of Egypt I called my son. It's referring to Israel as a single person, as a he. So we know that this is the way it refers to Israel. It even says in chapter 43 here, verse 10,
In 42, the
you
servant's
are my
actually referred to a
witnesses,
covenant
declares
for
the
the
Lord,
people.
and my servant, whom I have chosen. So he's literally calling the servant, a single person, the witnesses, multiple people.
In 42 is talking about a contrast to the idols, the idol worship.
Yeah. 42 is about the light to the nations. It's telling you Israel. He is the ones they have. He has taken them by the hand and given them as a covenant for the people. That is Israel. Says, I am the Lord. I have called you in righteousness. I will take you by the hand and keep you. I will give you as a covenant to the people, a light for the nations, to open the eyes that are blind, to bring out the prisoners from the dungeon. The prisoners are the Israelites in exile.
If it's talking about a hope to the nations, by default, that would be Jesus, because he's the hope for
Nope.
salvation. He's the
It's not
only
about
way to
Jesus.
salvation.
Isaiah is literally saying over and over that the Israelites are who God is going to glorify himself through.
So if we believe in the Israelites, we're going to get saved. That
Chapter
makes
44,
no
verse
sense.
1. But hear now, O Jacob, my servant, Israel, whom I have chosen. So it's calling Jacob and Israel the servant. The Lord redeems Israel. Verse 21. Remember these things, O Jacob and Israel, for you are my servant. I formed you. You are my servant, O Israel. You will not be forgotten by me. It's talking about Israel. Every time it refers to the servant that's suffering. It even calls them the suffering ones in chapter 49. And in 41, it calls them those who are wounded. So it's saying the Israelites, those are people who are wounded. So it's saying they are the ones who are wounded for transgression.
Yet every translation has it as singular. You're making
I
a
know
point
that,
that's
and I
not there.
just explained why multiple times. That's why it's hard to believe people have read this when they don't
Have
know
fun
that
burning in hell,
referring to
Chief.
he and him is referring to Israel, because it explains this a lot. The servant is the witnesses. That's in chapter 43, verse 10. You are my witnesses and my servant. All right, well, he left. They can't handle the heat when you read it to them. All right, let me clarify real quick, though. And we are moving on, folks. Yeah, maybe here. Anyway, let me clarify. Let's read that again real quick with a little clarification this time. The Lord has bared his holy arm. This is in chapter 52, verse 10. This is right before the servant song starts. And the servant song actually starts in chapter 52. Most Christians only ever name 53. And there's a reason for that. It's because you actually read chapter 52. It kind of debunks the whole thing if you just read it for what it's actually telling you. Like verse 10 here. The Lord has bared his holy arm before the eyes of all nations, and all the ends of the earth shall see the salvation of God. Depart, depart, go out from there. So it's literally saying the whole world is about to see the Babylonians depart from there and go out and touch no unclean thing. That's what's about to happen in the story. Immediately, it launches into the servant song, which is the fourth in the book of Isaiah at this point. 50, we were on the one before, 42. That's a servant song also. Anyway, the first two sentences in the chapter 53 are the most important ones. And it says, who has believed what we have heard? Question mark. And to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? Question mark. It's asking rhetorical questions. And it prefaced that in 52 by telling you who the arm of the Lord has been revealed to. So that is the people narrating this chapter. That means they're watching the Babylonian captivity. The exiles leave Babylon. And that's what's ultimately going to glorify the whole world. And that is why, actually, there's a huge difference in Judaism and Christianity in the fact that Christians have to go proselytize and Jews don't. And that is because Jews believe this. The whole world's coming to Yahweh when the culmination of these prophecies anyway. So you don't have to go convince nobody. They're going to see this happen and be like, holy crap. That's it. They're witnessing this happen. And Christians have to proselytize because they have to go out and spread the good news that their interpretation of this, even though it has nothing to do with it contextually, is actually about their guy who dies for your sins and whatever that's supposed to mean anyway. I'm not totally sure. It don't mean if sin goes away or you still sin, but they're all forgiven, but sins are still bad, so you shouldn't do them even though they're all forgiven. So the whole point gets really, really crazy. But anyway, y'all. Yeah, I'm just learning how to debate, Never claimed to be a master debater. I can smoke most Christians on some logic, though, I think. Just like I've been doing. Yeah, we still got a bunch of people. Oh, no. Almost hit a button there. Anyway, we'll give it a minute, see if somebody else loads back up in here. All right. Well, it's been a hell of a good little stream here tonight. Had some conversations there, didn't we? I guess I'm still down for some more, too. Although I probably ought to take a nap and get to my morning stream here in a bit. I think I'm only up this late because I came home and ate a big meal and it made me tired and I fell asleep. Now I can't sleep. Still pretty wide awake. Oh, shit. Louis Pasteur, father of microbiology, also a Christian. Okay. Alrighty then. Yeah, I'm like a freaking puppy, man. That's why I can't, like, when I go to work, I can't even eat a big meal during the day because I'll, like, immediately want to take a nap and shit. Like, I can't do it, man. I just get drowsy. Most of the time, I'm stay awake. If I stay awake till, I don't know, at least 8, 9, 10 o'clock, I can usually sleep pretty far through the night. But I fell asleep at like 6 o'clock, slept till like 9, woke up feeling like it was midnight, and it was 9 o'clock, 9:30. Oh, we got somebody back. Oh, okay. Oh, never mind. Somebody loading in here. Oh, Deanna?
Hey.
Hey, you're over 18, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Are you one of the Christians?
You know what? I'm not, but I'm curious to hear, because they use Isaiah 9 and 6. I'm curious to hear what you think that's about.
Oh, well, Isaiah 9 is about Hezekiah. Wait, what was the other one you said? 9 and what?
I think it's 9 and 6. Isaiah 9 6. I said 9 and 6. Sorry, that probably sounds confusing. 9 6.
You mean 9 and 11?
I
Those
think
are
it's
both kind of Messiah prophecies. Those are the ones that usually get used anyway. I don't think 6 is one of those.
I don't have my. Hold on.
Well, here, let's do. We'll figure it out in a second, but I'll do 9 for you real quick.
Okay.
All right, so let's read 9. I'll read it down. It won't take but a second. We'll read it down to verse 7 here. The last couple verses of the important part. Anyway, it says, for to us a child is born, but there will be no gloom for her who was in anguish in the former time, brought into contempt, the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali. But in the latter time, he was made glorious, the way of the sea, the land beyond the Jordan, Galilee of the nations. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Those who have dwelt in the land of deep darkness, on them has light shone. You have multiplied the nation, you have increased its joy. They rejoice before you as joy at the harvest, as they are glad when they divide the spoil. For the yoke of the burden and the staff of his shoulder, the rod of his oppressor, you have broken as the holy day of Midian. For every boot of the trampling warrior in battle tumult, and every garment rolled in blood will be burned as fuel for the fire. So here's the important part. And it says, for to us a child is born, to us a son given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. On the increase of his government and of peace there will be no end. There will be no end on the throne of David and over his kingdom, to establish it and to uphold it with justice and righteousness from this time forth and forevermore. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will do this. So the words there is what's important. So it says, his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Prince of Peace. So that's his name. That's a prophetic name, and what it's going to mean. It's basically describing Hezekiah. Saying he's brought joy to the kingdom and stuff like that. This is basically the pronunciation of a new child, like a ceremonial type thing almost. But anyway, so if this is Jesus, you would also have to say he has to run a government of peace. There will be no end on the throne of David and over his kingdom. So Jesus would have had to come. He would have had to literally sit on the throne of David and establish peace and uphold it with justice and righteousness from this time onward and forevermore. So pretty simple, I think. If Jesus didn't fulfill that actual role, then it wasn't about Jesus. And Jesus obviously never sat on the throne of David or anything of the sort, or brought peace to Jerusalem.
No, he didn't. And the thing is, they say that this is going to be in the future. That's how they try to make it still relevant. They say that this didn't happen. This is future prophecy still to come.
Yeah. It just makes sense to me that that's actually about Hezekiah, especially because Ahaz was a really bad king, like through tradition or history or whatever. But anyway, Hezekiah was a really good king, and Hezekiah was a son. So it's talking about the child being born after this King Ahaz, and King Ahaz was from the chapter 7 and chapter 8 there. So it makes sense that Hezekiah is this child born in chapter 9 as well.
Gotcha.
And then in chapter 11, it talks about a peaceful kingdom again. Like, this is what the Old Testament's really about. Like, these messiahs are supposed to bring peace, like actual peace, not like spirit peace or heaven peace or anything like that. But anyway, 11 says, a shoot shall come out of the stump of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. The Spirit of the Lord rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and the fear of the Lord. His delight shall be in the fear of the Lord. So this is actually one that I use to argue against the Trinity, because it doesn't make sense that if Jesus is God, that he fears himself and delights in fearing himself, So that's a good one to use on that one. But anyway, there was a different part too. Which one was it? Oh yeah, the whole stump of Jesse thing. Like if Joseph is the line through Jesse, then Joseph didn't even consummate the marriage until after Jesus was born. So Joseph ain't even his dad. So I don't understand how you argue he's from the line of David if he's not even Joseph's actual son. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. Say, what was that again? That sounded important. What? Can you make that point again?
Which one? The last one?
Yeah, the one that you just said about Joseph.
Yeah, Joseph wasn't Jesus' actual dad. Like Joseph didn't even consummate the marriage until after Jesus was born. So Joseph couldn't have been his dad. And you're supposed to have a genetic link, like a come from the loins of David to be this Messiah that it's talking about here.
Okay. Okay, that's all. I just that's one of the ones that I hear a lot, and I appreciate you breaking it down.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. We appreciate you coming and asking. Thanks for coming up, Deanna. All right. Let's see. We still got a second here. Maybe this was a... Oh, no. Still people in the queue, but they're not actually. I don't know if they're mistakes or what. All right. Let's see here. Yes, I agree. Oh no, I agree, Joshua. That was their like attempt to link him to that. I guess my problem would be what I was just talking about, like that Joseph don't actually consummate the marriage until afterwards. Like it straight up says that. So Jesus was definitely not Joseph's son. Would be the problem there. But let's see the. Oh, never mind. Shit, about forgot what I was going to make a point there anyway. I was trying to think of a number, then I forgot what I was going to say about the rest of it anyhow. Oh, but yeah, I'm not even sure. I don't know. You could go with Gospels like Mark that don't even mention a birth narrative, and then you don't have that problem. Which would put you in a little different category as well, I guess, is like fulfilling some of these roles. But I don't think he has to fulfill all of them because all of them is about some messiahs and other ones about coming messiahs. So I really think like all he has to fill is the one about coming messiahs, which narrows it down a little bit more. But if you think Jesus was like he got the Holy Spirit when he was baptized, which is contextually accurate, then you can just say he was like adopted as the Son of God then. I mean, you don't have to do the whole genetic rigmarole there. That's why I say it all the time. Like, if Mark was the only gospel, it would be way harder to argue Old Testament stuff against him, which it would present its own problems. But it would take out a whole lot of them, too, just because the stuff wouldn't be there, like, to argue with. You know what I mean? That'd be pretty neat. Oh, we do got somebody loading in. I don't think it's probably not a Christian though. Damon King, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're not a Christian, are you?
No, I am.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are you over 18?
Yeah, I turned 18 in 2007 of July 13th.
Oh, shit. I hear you.
Dude, I don't like being an adult. This shit sucks.
I think that's kind of alright, I guess. It has its perks. It's got its ups and downs. Pros and cons.
I just see this and I want to see what exactly your opinion is on this because I don't see what the point is other than to just like argue.
What point?
I definitely believe that Christianity is like the one true like religion, and like all of the other ones are like false.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you asked me though. Like you said, it was what's the point or something. I don't know what you meant.
I just feel like the whole life seems just like antagonistic because like
Oh, you mean my debate life?
yeah.
Oh, it's just a debate thing, man. If you like debates or whatever,
Okay.
you can come up and debate if you want, like, or not. You can pass on by.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really have anything to debate then.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No problem. Well, thanks for coming up, I reckon. Yeah, I think a lot of Christians get the idea that I'm out here attacking Christianity, but like this is a debate page, man. I feel like there's a lot of people, Christians, who enjoy this. Like they call it apologetics. I mean, they enjoy arguing about this shit the same way I do. But ultimately, I'm doing this to try to talk people out of this. I think Christianity is a scam. I'm trying to show them that ultimately it is based on what I know. And I do that through debate. And I think the human race is going to be better off when we return the Abrahamic religions to the dust where they belong and leave them in history. Because it's very skewed ideologies, I think. And I prove that all the time. You see them get put on display here constantly. Oh, still nobody. Running through them. Yes. I'm doing the work of gold. Not sure which gold, but oh, there is somebody here. Just wow, what a delay. Jay, you there?
I'm here, brother. How you doing?
Doing well, man. You're over 18, right?
All right. What are we talking about?
Yeah. Are you over 18?
Yes, I'm 32.
Good. Are you a Christian?
Yes.
All right. So I got some topics up here on the screen. You can tell us which one the Lord sent you to debate us on here. Which one you like?
All right. You're a former Christian?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess, hell, tell me, like, what made you leave the faith?
The Bible.
Okay.
It's too chock full of errors. I don't believe it. The prophecies don't come true. There's all kind of problems with it.
Oh, okay. Prophecies don't come true.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, what do you mean?
Like it says, prophecies are going to happen, but they don't actually happen. Like Jesus gives prophecy himself that don't happen. So I don't see any reason to think Jesus is a credible Messiah or fulfills the role of the Messiah when he doesn't actually do any of the prophecies that he's supposed to fulfill, and he makes false prophecies himself.
Okay. So, like, what do you mean? Let's get more specific.
Yeah, like you talking about Jesus making prophecy or fulfilling prophecies? Which one you want?
Well, whichever one you were talking about.
Well, I was talking about both, but like we'll stick with Jesus there making prophecies. So he tells the disciples in chapter 10, 16, and 24 that the day of judgment is going to happen in their lifetimes. But it clearly didn't happen in their lifetime. So to me, that's a false prophecy.
So Jesus said the day of judgment, like word for word, what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree.
Why would you disagree?
Because I've read the Bible.
Oh, you have? So you remember in Matthew chapter 10 where he tells them that they will not have finished going through the towns of Israel before the Son of Man comes?
You're talking about that they will not see the kingdom of heaven?
The coming of the Son of Man.
No, you're talking about the kingdom of heaven. In
the kingdom of heaven coming. That's the coming of the Son of Man. That's from Matthew 24.
In the 27th of Luke, chapter 27.
Well, 24.
Maybe.
It's 24.
How do you know?
I got it right here in front of me.
Me too.
So what does your Matthew chapter 24 say? Does it describe the coming of the Son of Man?
Okay, so what does Matthew chapter 24 say? Or is it Luke?
It's describing the coming of
Is
the
it
Son of
Luke
Man.
or is it?
It's
or
in
is it
Matthew chapter 24.
Okay. But you have what? Luke, Mark, and James, right?
Luke, Mark, and John, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm talking about
What does
Matthew
that
there. In Matthew, he says, you will not have finished going through the towns of Israel before the Son of Man comes. He tells them in chapter 16, some of you standing here
They
will
go
not
through
taste
the
death before the Son of Man
towns.
comes.
There
And it
we
says
go.
in chapter
There we go.
24, this generation
There
will
we
not
go.
pass away before all these things take place.
Okay. So what does 25 say?
In Matthew?
Well, I guess if we're going to talk about the Son of Man coming, what is transfiguration?
It's
What
right
is that?
the events that lead up to the coming of
Yeah.
the Son of Man.
What is that?
No,
show?
wait. That's not what you're. If you're talking about the tribulation, that's what the
Yeah.
tribulation is.
Yeah. No. The transfiguration.
What does that have to do with it?
Well, it was the next chapter. So
No, chapter 25 is about the separation of the sheep and the goats. That's the day of judgment. He's literally
hold
saying,
on. You're
if you
giving
did
me
this,
your
you're going to
interpretation.
eternal life, and if you
You're
did that,
giving
you're
me
going
your
to eternal fire.
interpretation. Okay. So,
Sir, can
if
you
we're
track the
speaking scripture,
conversation here?
yeah, we are.
The
We
same my
are.
interpretation. It's which chapters it's in.
Okay.
Like it's
Well,
right here in
then,
front
what
of
was
me.
the next chapter?
Chapter 25. He separates the sheep and the goats. That's the day of
Okay.
judgment.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
so was there ever a point that Jesus Christ went to a mountain of transfiguration?
What does that have to do with the coming of the Son of Man? I don't understand.
Because why? Why do you think?
Why do I think what?
Why do you think is the Son of Man coming into his kingdom?
The coming of the Son of Man is Jesus coming on the clouds. Lots of people are going to see
Okay.
it,
Okay.
and he's going to
Don't
judge everybody
disregard what
according
I
to
said.
their works.
Like, hold on, brother. What was it?
What was what?
Transfiguration. What was that?
The transfiguration is
Okay.
irrelevant
Can you
right
read
now.
that? Can you read that?
Why should I read it?
Well, why wouldn't you?
Because
If
it
you're
don't
going to
have
give
anything to do with what we're
scripture,
talking
like,
about.
why wouldn't you give scripture to this?
Sir, can you address what we're actually talking about?
Yeah, transfiguration.
We are not talking about the transfiguration.
No, we're
Are
not.
you talking about
huh?
the tribulation?
The tribulation down in
The Great
what,
Tribulation.
Revelation?
That's not
No,
the same thing
I'm
as the
speaking
transfiguration. It's two different
because
events. I thought we was talking about chapter 24.
no, because you right, you wanted to say, hey, this generation will not pass away until they see the Son of Man coming into
Right.
his kingdom, right? So,
Well, you mixed two different
what was the
ones,
next
but sure.
verse? What was the next verse?
The next verse after what?
My goodness. Why are you playing these games?
All right.
Why are you
So
playing
we're going to
these
get somebody
games?
in here with the mental capacity of a 10-year-old at least. Yeah, sorry, man. Like, you were being cool and stuff, but I don't think you could track the conversation. Like, no point in continuing that. I don't believe. And, oh, we got somebody else. Sometime I'd just be hitting accept. I don't know if anybody's there. Tyler, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Are you over 18?
Yeah, I'm 23. I'm good.
Awesome. Are you one of the Christians?
Yeah, I was gonna kind of I was hoping the guy would stay in, but I was kind of piggyback off of what y'all were talking about.
Yeah, go ahead. Just try to stay on track there.
No, yeah. So what were y'all talking about before? Because he was talking about transfiguration. So what were y'all talking about before that? Because you had mentioned.
I was talking about the Great Tribulation and the coming of the Son of Man, but I never brought up the tribulation. But we was talking about Matthew
Oh, okay,
24,
okay,
I thought,
okay.
but he started asking me about that, but I don't know why. Because he
Yeah,
asked me about
so
25 too.
sure. So in that and in Matthew, right? You have is 16:24. Y'all talking about 16:24?
Yeah, I brought that up. Yeah,
Oh,
where it
okay,
says
okay.
there are some standing here who won't taste
Yeah,
death
I
before they
believe
see
that
the
was.
coming of the Son of Man.
Yeah, I think that was Matthew 16:27. He said, "Truly I say to
Yeah, it
you,
is.
there will be some that don't taste death until they see the Son of Man coming in His kingdom." Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the very next chapter, 17, that's when he was referring to the Transfiguration, because right after that,
Oh, I guess
he
that's
brought
what
up
he was
Peter,
talking
James,
about. I
and
wasn't
John.
sure the way the other guy was putting it. I didn't get it.
Sure, yeah. So that's what I mean when you look at like scholars and stuff like that that are able to interpret that as he was meaning the Transfiguration. That's what they're talking about. Because in the very next
Oh, you mean, you're
verse
saying
of
he
the
was talking
chapter.
about the Transfiguration in 16?
So in 16:27, when he said, "Truly I say to you," you know, all that. The very next
Yeah.
chapter, 17, is the Transfiguration when he brings them up, Peter, James, and John.
Right,
He
right.
brings them up to the mountain, and Jesus's full divine nature was revealed in front of them. And then you had
Sure, but that's
Elijah and
not
Moses
what
come
chapter
down.
16 was referring to, if that's what you mean.
So then, what was it?
We know what
referring
that's
to?
referring to because he says what it's referring to. The coming of the Son of Man. That's how we know what he's talking about.
Yeah, so the coming of the Son of Man, based off of how you understand that, like I guess my question would be, how do you understand that chapter? What do
Well,
you think it's referring
it
to?
tells us how to understand it in chapter 24. It tells us exactly what the coming of the Son of Man is, right?
Yeah, so if are you referring to what I'm asking though, can you explain to me, just like in your words, I guess, explain to me what you believe 16:27 to be referring to?
That's talking about the coming of the Son of Man, the day of judgment.
Which doesn't happen till future, right? Or is
Yeah,
that
it's
already
after
happened?
that. Yeah, it's after those events. Yeah.
Yeah, so in that case,
Yeah, my
wouldn't that
argument
have
there
already
is that
happened?
he's telling the disciples that the coming of the Son of Man is going to happen in their lifetime, which he does on several occasions.
Sure. So that means the coming of the Son of Man, as it speaks about in Revelation, that already happened.
Matthew 24. Well, if you
So
think
when
the end's already happened, then you could argue that. But the day of judgment clearly hasn't happened. I don't think.
well, that's yeah. So like, that's what you have to understand. If you're talking about Matthew 16:27, referring to the day the Lord comes in His whole entire kingdom on earth, that's spoke about in Revelation. That's what I was asking. Has that already happened?
Revelation is a past event, but that's not what I'm referring to when I say the coming of the Son of Man. I'm reading that from Matthew itself, the Matthew chapter 24. Heaven and earth's going to pass away. It's going to be like the last days of Noah. It's going to be a horrible time. And it says immediately after the distress of those days, then it launches into the coming of the Son of Man. That's literally how it starts in verse 29. It says immediately after the suffering of those days, the sun will be darkened and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from heaven. It says
Yeah.
the sign of the coming of the Son of Man will appear in heaven. And we know that's the day of judgment because it's launching right into heaven and earth passing away and then the separation of the sheep from the goats, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that
So you don't
basically.
think Jesus has come and separated the sheep and the goats yet, do you?
I don't believe Jesus has come in the sense of what it talks about in Revelation, because
What about
there's
Matthew chapter
other
24,
events
then?
that have to happen. I believe that's speaking future tense. I believe he's speaking
Sure, but
future
he's
in
telling the
terms of what's going to
disciples
happen.
privately in this chapter what all this is going to happen and how it's going to take place. So when he's talking to them in private and he says, this generation will not pass away until all these things take place, he's literally telling them all the stuff that he just talked about is going to take place in their lifetime within that generation.
Yeah, but none of that stuff happened in their lifetime.
I know. That's why it's a false prophecy.
Well, that's why you have to that's why you have to understand what he means by future and
I do
present.
understand. He says there are some standing here who will not taste death before they see the coming of the Son of Man. That's the
Yes,
day of
and
judgment. And
what
chapter
I'm
10 even references it. He literally says
well,
it in chapter 10.
well, what I'm trying to say, based off of what that guy was saying previously, was the fact that after he says that, literally the very next chapter, 17, is the Transfiguration when he comes.
Yeah, it
in
doesn't
his
matter.
full
That's a
kingdom
separate
glory.
event, though. That's still not the coming of the Son
That's
of Man.
right
We know
after
what he's
that
talking
event.
about when he refers to the coming of the Son of Man, right?
But that's right after that event, though. Like
It
right
doesn't
after he
matter.
talks
It's
about
still
it.
separated. Lots of stuff happens after other stuff. It doesn't mean they're correlated necessarily. The
But
coming of the
you,
Son of Man is just the coming of the Son of Man. That's all it is. If he would have meant the transfiguration, they would have said the transfiguration and not the coming of the Son of Man.
but you, that's how you have to understand. That's when you have to understand context and stuff. If
I
stuff
do
doesn't
understand.
specifically state this, that doesn't mean that it's not true. I mean, the
Yeah,
thing
but
is,
he
like,
specifically states the coming of the Son of Man, though. I know what the
yeah,
coming of the Son of Man is.
I
It's the
understand.
day of judgment.
Yes, but that's all future. That hasn't happened yet.
I know. He's telling them this is going to happen in the future, but in your lifetime. That's the future prediction.
Well, I understand, but that's why you're trying to link it up to a false prophecy because it didn't happen.
I
But
know. That's why it makes it a false prophecy.
I understand that's why you believe that. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
explain.
So
that
the only
that
way
stuff
out of
hasn't
it
happened.
is to
It's
say
going
this
to
is
happen.
not actually what he was talking about. Thank you for the heart there.
I don't know. I'm just saying that based off of that verse, and a lot of other scholars collectively agree the fact that Matthew 16:27 is directly referring to the transfiguration because in that
It's
sense,
directly
Jesus
referring to the Son
comes.
of Man because he says the Son of Man.
I understand, but he comes in his full glory, his kingdom glory. He comes
Yeah, but that's
down.
just the next part of the story. It don't have anything to do with the coming of the Son of Man.
That he's coming down in his kingdom glory on top of the mountain.
Okay, well, listen to this real quick. This is from chapter 10, right? It says, if anyone will not welcome you or listen to your words, shake off the dust from your feet as you leave that house or town. Truly I tell you, it will be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah on the day of judgment than for that town. So he's telling the disciples that places that are not going to welcome them are going to have it worse on them than the Sodom and Gomorrah on the day of judgment, right?
Sure.
So just a few verses down here, he sends out the disciples. He tells them they're going to be persecuted. And then this is what he says. He says, when they persecute you in this town, flee to the next. For truly I tell you, you will not have finished going through the towns of Israel before the Son of Man comes. So he's literally telling them they're not going to be done preaching in Israel before the day of judgment. So he's literally telling them it's about to happen in their lifetimes.
So when he sent them out two by two, that's what he was referring to about, if they're not going to welcome you in, shake the dust off your feet, move on. That's after they were getting sent out two by two.
Right?
And
He's
so,
sending them out to preach, right? He says, don't go out to the Gentiles or among the Samaritans, right? He says, just go to the lost sheep of Israel. And this is what you're going to
yes,
say.
and it
He
was
says,
the
the Lord's
Jews.
going to tell you what to say.
Yeah, sending them out to the Jews. And
Exactly.
so, because Jesus did come for the lost sheep of the house of Israel first, essentially.
Right.
So he sent them out, right? And
Yep.
but you could say, yeah, so Sodom and Gomorrah was absolutely wiped out, correct? Wiped out.
Yeah. And he's saying, when these towns don't treat you good, he's saying it's going to be more tolerable for Sodom and Gomorrah than for those towns. So he said Sodom and Gomorrah is going to be worse, or these towns of Israel are going to have it worse than Sodom and Gomorrah, is what he's saying there.
Yeah, in the future.
On the day of judgment.
In the future. Well, that's the thing.
On the day of judgment. It literally says that.
I understand, but I guess the biggest difference is between, because like obviously I believe, and I think a lot of other Christians would agree. I can't speak for everybody, but I'm just saying I think a lot of us would agree that it's going to be a future situation.
Yeah, but I
You're
don't
not thinking
understand
future,
how
so
it's not clear
hard
when it
to-
says on the day of judgment.
But if
Right.
if you're referring to the judgment,
It's literally telling you what it's talking
Revelation.
about. It's saying the coming of the Son of Man. It's
I
saying the
I
day of
understand.
judgment. It's
But
not saying the transfiguration or
hold
some
on.
vague
Oh.
future event.
I understand what you're saying. So
Okay.
the thing is let's talk about Revelation, about how it's also the coming of the Son of Man, the coming of the kingdom, heaven and earth passing away. That's Revelation.
Yeah, but we got to get through Matthew first.
Well, I understand we have to get through Matthew, but I'm just saying that's also stated in Revelation. And Revelation is a future event because there's a lot of
So
other things that
is
have to
this.
happen yet. The Antichrist, all that has to happen first. None of that happened in that
Not
time
according
period.
to Matthew.
Well, where does it say in Matthew that there was an actual the Antichrist was present?
It doesn't say anything about that, Matthew. It tells you when the coming of the Son of Man is going to happen.
I understand, but in
It's going to
Revelation,
happen immediately after the
okay,
Great
but
Tribulation.
But the coming of the Son of Man in Revelation happens after the Antichrist.
I'm sure, but this is Matthew. That doesn't happen that way in Matthew.
So what you're trying to say is that, so the Bible is contradicting itself in the sense that the coming of the Son of Man happened in Matthew, and then it
You can
happened,
try to
whatever,
run
and we went through
Revelation into
2,000 years,
this.
and
I'm
then
just
it comes
using the
again.
information that Matthew has given us. Like, I feel like
I
I'm the
understand
one
what you're
that's
saying.
actually using the words here, and you're the one trying to get away from them.
I'm not. I just don't have the Bible pulled up in front of my face. I can't do that when I'm on live
That's why
right
I'm
here.
reading it to you. I mean, I get
Oh,
you.
I understand,
That's
but
why
I'm
I'm reading it
going off
though.
based off of I'm going off based of what I know. I'm sorry, but I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to understand your point here is the fact that, you know, you talked about how the second coming of the man, or the coming of Jesus and his kingdom, was talked
Right.
about happening in Matthew during their time, and you're saying it didn't happen, so therefore it was a false prophecy. It's also
Right.
spoke about in Revelation about
I
that
know.
whole event
We got
happening
that.
as
Yeah.
well, right?
Yeah. That's
So
totally
I'm
different
just
though.
saying,
That's about the judgment on Rome.
well, yeah, it includes the great white throne judgment, all that, but
Well, it
Jesus
tells you
coming
who the
down
lady
in this
is, and the
kingdom.
beast with 7 heads. Like, it tells you what that is.
Yeah, it tells you what it is, even though that's all
Yeah,
imagery,
it's
but
Rome.
it tells you what it is.
Yeah, of course. So
So
it explains that it's Rome. So that's not even what we're talking about here.
no,
This
what
would
I'm
be actually like, you could say this is like right after that, sure. Because if the tribulation is the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem, that's what's going on, sort of. So you can kind
so
of
okay,
correlate
so
that. But it
so in
doesn't fix the problem, though.
well, I understand your problem of assuming that it's a contradiction or that it's a false prophecy. The thing is I really can't sit here and tell you you need to believe that it's not a false prophecy. That's a real hard thing to try to convince you. I'm just trying to explain to you
That's
that.
because I have the actual words and the information that the words has given me. And
Yes,
this
but you're
here literally
assuming.
says on the day of judgment.
I know, but you're going off literally, and you're assuming that
Why
that's
wouldn't I?
supposed
It's
to
what the
happen right
words
then and
say.
there. No, because
It's
I'm
what the
just saying
words
in
say.
the Bible you can't assume everything literally.
Can I not
Not
assume the words have meaning?
not literally when it says when you should cut
What?
off your right arm if it causes you to sin. You shouldn't
No,
cut
that
off
means
your
it
right
literally.
arm.
It's saying if your hand's going to cut it off, you should cut it off.
So then that means there's no true Christians out here today.
I don't know. Have you got $100 I can borrow?
If I got $100,
Can I borrow it?
what do you need $100 for?
What does it matter? Can I borrow it?
Well, the why it matters
I'll
is a
pay you
big
back
deal.
in a year or two, 3 years or something.
No, I'm just saying that if
So I
that's the
can't borrow
sense,
it?
then there's not a lot of true
You
Christians.
know, Jesus commands you to let anyone who asks borrow, right?
For you to borrow $100.
Jesus says, if anyone asks of you to borrow, let them borrow. Matthew
Yes,
chapter 5.
I'm 100% sure Jesus meant that, so that in this exact situation right here, I have to give you $100 because Jesus commanded it. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, he said, yeah, in Matthew chapter 5 on the Sermon on the Mount. He said, if anyone asks of you to borrow, let them borrow.
You have to understand that in that time period what he was meaning. He wasn't meaning just
Y'all hate literal readings of
absolutely
this,
anything.
don't you? It cost you $100 to read it literally. Yeah. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
like words
I'm
have
just
meanings, man. Like, why in the world is this telling you this stuff's gonna happen about the day of judgment if it don't mean the day of judgment?
well, like for example, like I think that the day of judgment is literally going to happen. But like let's say when you read, and I'm going to bring up Revelation again, but let's say when you read Revelation, it talks about the beast, right, emerging out with horns and stuff. Is there
The
an
beast with
actual
7 heads?
is there an actual beast that's going to emerge from the ground with 7 heads? Like an actual beast?
Good Lord, I hope not.
Well, I hope not either. I mean, that would be insane. But I'm just saying,
Well, that's what the Bible
actually a
says is gonna
beast
happen.
coming. I understand that's what the Bible says, but what I'm saying, actually a beast coming out, because you have to understand, John. This is what John saw in a vision, correct? You believe that, or
Yeah,
you
it might be
understand?
John, I don't know. Yeah.
It was John. So
Yeah, it's
John,
metaphorical for Rome.
is right.
It says the woman
Okay.
you saw, the whore of Babylon. It says she was the city that rules the world, so it's talking about Rome.
Sure, but what? Yeah, so that's okay. But I can also say that like it wasn't an actual lady, right?
Yeah, but it was an actual city.
It was an actual city, but it wasn't like
Yeah,
a
yeah. So we know when it's
single
speaking
lady,
metaphorically
correct?
and when it's speaking literally, right?
For sure. But I'm saying like I said, you can't
So
take
I'm pretty
everything
sure that this
literal,
is
and you're
giving
saying why
us
not?
literal information here. When it's talking about the coming of the Son of Man and what that literally is, it's giving you real information.
Sure, he's giving real information, but I'm saying it's you have to
So when
understand the
it
context of where it's
says
coming from.
that it's going to be worse for those towns on the day of judgment, why should I assume this means anything but the day of judgment?
I believe it's the day of judgment as well. I just believe it to be future. I'm not
What are
disagreeing
we
with you that
arguing about?
it's
It is
not they're not going
future.
to
I
be
told you
bad.
that. It's future. It happens way after Jesus actually told them about this.
It
It's
hasn't
still future.
yet has happened yet. That's what I
It's
believe.
future
It
to
still has
Jesus,
not
though, is
happened
what
yet.
I'm saying.
Future to Jesus is a completely different thing
Yeah.
than future to us.
Of course, because he lived 2,000 years ago. But this
Because
is what
Jesus
he
is
was talking about.
God.
He said it's gonna. He said there are some
No,
standing
because
here who
Jesus
will
is
not
God. It's
taste
different.
death before they see the coming of the Son of Man.
I understand. I just believe that to be talking about the transfiguration in the very next chapter. So that's the
Which is
difference
kind of
that we
funny
have.
that, like, if you take it literally, you lose. Like, it destroys your whole narrative if this is a literal reading, doesn't it?
Well, it wouldn't destroy my whole entire thing because I when you're reading from context, then you would
I am reading
understand
for
what it's
context.
meaning. Okay.
I do.
Okay. So
The
you're
day of
reading from
judgment is the
context,
coming
but
of the
all
Son
the
of Man.
other
It tells us that
but
in
all the
Matthew
other
chapter
Bible
24.
scholars that actually spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours actually looking into this, all the different manuscripts, all the
I've
different
spent
wording,
hundreds of hours looking into this.
and all the different Greek, all the different wording. You know how to interpret all that.
No, do you?
I don't. I'm not saying I did. But I'm just saying,
So, I
like,
didn't
these
say I
people
did
that
either.
did understand that that's talking about the transfiguration.
It's not. We can just read it. Why do I need to trust a scholar when I can just read it for myself and it's describing what it's talking about perfectly?
Okay. I mean, I can't. I can't
I just
really
don't
go
feel like
anywhere.
it's that complicated, and I barely have a middle school education, and it seems pretty clear to me.
It doesn't matter the education level. I mean, I'm just saying that there's a
I'm
lot
just
of
saying,
people.
I'm a pretty simple person, like no education, but pretty clear to me. I think this only becomes complicated when you need it to become complicated to make it fit the ideals that you're trying to put on top of it.
Well, like, okay, is this a true huge big salvific issue? Absolutely not. And
It is
that's
for
a big
me
thing.
because Jesus is a false prophet, and according to God in Deuteronomy 18, false prophets need to be unalived and not taken seriously at all.
Well, that's yes, but okay. So, well, I would ask you, like, what do you believe? You're not a Christian no more? Obviously, you're not a Christ follower. So, like,
No,
what are you?
I'm an atheist now.
Oh, you're an atheist now.
Yeah.
So why does this?
Because of the
Why does
Bible.
any of this matter to you?
It's a debate thing. I'm debating it.
I understand it's a debate thing, but why? What's the point?
To debate it.
But that even means nothing. So in an atheist
You came up
viewpoint,
here to debate. What'd you come to debate for if it doesn't mean anything?
well, it means something to me. But I'm saying because I'm a follower of Christ, I would like to at least do my best in apologetics, defending my faith,
Oh, okay.
right? So what I'm,
Well,
but
I
the
want to
thing
do
with,
my best for my fellow humans to try to snap them out of this nonsensical religion's position here and the dangers that come with the ideologies of holding beliefs like this.
but it means nothing though.
It does. It snaps people out of this
It can't
ridiculous,
mean
dangerous
nothing. It can't mean
ideologies,
nothing to you if
hopefully,
you're an
but all I can
atheist.
do is try. So.
It can't mean nothing to you. I mean, it can't mean something to you
I'm
if
telling
you're
you
an
what I'm telling you what it means to me.
But as an atheist, it's nothing.
What are you talking about?
When you're an atheist, nothing matters. Okay, for example, as an atheist,
Matters to me. I got to
your
live with other
point.
people.
Hold on,
I
hold
got
on.
to
So
vote with you.
I understand, but what I'm saying, as an atheist,
Do
like,
you?
hold on, as an atheist,
Mhm.
your viewpoint means it's not right or wrong. It's nothing. Just as much as my viewpoint is neither right or
Means
wrong. It's
water is
nothing.
right or wrong.
It means nothing. You're an atheist. I mean, we're all at that point
What
just
means nothing? What means nothing? I don't
nothing.
understand
It
what you're
means
talking about.
nothing because at the end of the day,
What
we're all
does?
bags. Listen, we're all bags of biological stardust, and a
No,
world
we're
that means
humans that
nothing.
have to live with each other. We're both stuck in this life on this planet together. So
Do you
why
believe
not
we
try to
came
make the
from?
best
Do you
of it
believe we came
together?
from a
Like,
fish? Do you believe we came from a
yeah,
fish?
Mhm.
Where did that fish come from?
From earlier fishes.
And then where did all that come from? They can't just
If you're going, if
a
you're
fish
trying to get
couldn't
back
just
to the
pop up.
beginning of life, life arose billions of years ago on the planet as single-celled organisms.
Okay, but before that, I'm talking
Before
about the
that, there
creation
was
of
no
the world.
life.
The creation of the world
The world forward for planetary accretion disk theory. It's gravity.
through gravity. So, at the very beginning, we're all just stardust. I mean, we were something.
Yeah, ain't that cool?
Yeah. So we mean absolutely nothing
Who says? You say? I don't say that.
because the moment that we die, we return to nothing.
So?
So what's the point in anything?
So is your life worthless because you're going to die one day? Like, no, you still mean something to your family. You have a life. You might enjoy life. I hope you do. I've enjoyed it enough to stick around. It has meaning
Sure,
to
but it
me. I've got
doesn't.
kids. I've got a
It
wife.
doesn't mean
I got a
anything.
career. I've got lots
Sure,
of people I talk to.
on Earth, it
Yeah.
might mean something to you, but afterwards, it
Yeah,
means
so I'm
nothing.
going to enjoy it while I'm here to do that because when I die, I won't get to do it anymore. So
But I mean,
life is
I'm just
actually
saying.
meaningful because it's rare and fleeting and because it will end. It's worthless if you think this is just some worthless stepping stone to get to the real life later on.
Well, okay, but in my viewpoint of that, my life's not worthless, right? Just as much as I think your life is not worthless. I
I
believe
don't
that.
think yours is worthless either.
That's okay. So, but the thing is
Do you have
like,
dogs?
yes, I have a dog and a cat, two
Do you think
cats.
your dog's life is worthless? Do you think your cat's life is worthless? They're just going to
I
return to
don't
the
know.
dust one day.
I don't believe it. And you know what? I'm not
I don't
I'm not a
believe it
big
either.
person in believing that the animals necessarily go with us. I
Well,
don't
according to
know if I
Ecclesiastes,
believe it.
where even humans are the same as animals and we're all going back to the dust.
Well, you're referring to when it's referring to Adam.
Ecclesiastes.
It's referring to Adam when it talks. The only one that's referred to going back to the dust is Adam.
And Ecclesiastes?
The only person that's referred to going back to the dust is Adam.
Have you read
Unless you can,
Ecclesiastes 3?
well, show me where it says every human is going to go back to the dust, and I'm not talking about
Well, I can
their
show you where it
soul.
doesn't say just Adam.
I'm not talking about their soul. Their body may return to the ground, but their soul does not.
Yeah, I know. I know. All right, let's here. We'll read it. All right. I said to myself with regard to humans that God is testing them to show that they are but animals. For the fate of humans and the fate of animals are the same. As one dies, so dies the other. They all have the same breath, and humans have no advantage over other animals, for all is vanity. All go to one place, all are from the dust, and all return to the dust again.
Their body.
Does it say all return to the dust, or it says Adam returned to the dust?
Well, I'm just saying that the fact that Adam was also referred
Does it
to
say
going
we
back
go
to
to
the
the?
dust.
Does it say all go to the same place animals do?
The body goes back to the dust.
Does it
Just as
say
much as the
all?
animal goes back. All bodies, all
Yeah.
humans, all bodies go back to the dust. Soul does not. Because
The
then
fate
later
of
on,
humans and the fate of animals is the same.
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm trying to say is that the soul does not. The body may go. The day I die, my fleshly body is going to go into the
It
ground.
says all go to one place. All are from the dust, and all turn to
We'll go
dust
back to
again.
the dust. Okay, I agree with you. My fleshly body will go back to the dust,
So if there's
just
only
like
one
everybody
place we're
else.
going to, and it's the dust, that doesn't leave much room to go to somewhere else, does it?
But okay, but did you not hear what I said? My soul does not. My soul goes
Yeah, I
up
heard
with
you, but apparently you don't know what one place means. You're talking about two places.
the soul and body are different. The day you die, your soul leaves your body. Your body stays here. Your body does not rise up with you. Your soul goes, your body doesn't.
Hmm. Yeah,
That's
I
what I
know
was trying to say.
words are hard for some people. I get it.
How does that? Why? I'm trying to explain your soul
Because of
and
what
body.
it says. Like, I don't understand how I read something so clear and y'all somehow take the exact opposite meaning of that.
I'm not. I'm literally telling you. I agree. Your body goes back to the dust.
So where
Just
does
like
this
you
make a
said.
distinction that says your body goes to one place and your soul goes to another? Does it
Because
say
we
that
have a
anywhere?
soul. We have a
Does it say
soul.
that anywhere here?
And Ecclesiastes,
Yeah.
I cannot say that it says that anywhere. I'm sorry.
That's
I can't
because
prove
it
that.
don't. It never makes that distinction. Whoever wrote Ecclesiastes did not believe in an afterlife. That's why I
Okay.
brought that up.
Okay. Because
Never
it does
mentions anything like that.
it does mention about the fact that the dead will rise, the bodies will rise eventually in the end when the kingdom comes back down, because eventually we will be in our bodies, our glorified bodies. Eventually.
Yeah, it says in 9, the dead know nothing in Ecclesiastes 9. So how do dead people not know anything if they're actually still alive?
Their body. Their body knows nothing. Well,
Their
I
body
mean,
knows nothing.
that's just the
This
difference
says the
that
dead know nothing, not dead bodies.
I understand the dead. They're dead. Their body is dead. They are dead. Their soul is not. And that's the difference that we both have. I mean, just as much as you can't convince me, I can't convince you. There's just a barrier right then and there. But I'm just explaining to you what I truly
Yeah,
believe.
one of us are using the actual words that it's saying here, and another one of us are adding a whole lot of information that it's not actually saying.
Okay. I mean, I can do my best to explain the fact that we have a soul. I can't go out and pull it up because I won't be able to. You won't be able to hear me. I
No.
can't do the same thing you do.
I agree. It says we have a soul, just not in Ecclesiastes. That's why I read that.
Well, that's fine, but if you're only sticking to just Ecclesiastes and only going with that and
You
saying,
see, when I read things and
Fine.
pick up context, I can use one book where you have to bounce around and pull sentences from different stuff to make it make sense. I can just read the actual stories, and each one that's telling you it makes perfect sense to me.
well, what's
Because
wrong?
I'm not
What's
trying to
wrong with
confuse it.
pulling from different places?
Because you're cherry picking. If you have to use other books to explain one, especially if it's a contradiction to try to fix a contradiction, then you're probably just reaching out and cherry picking sentences. Because Matthew's real clear on its information.
But then why believe Matthew?
I don't believe Matthew. You shouldn't either. Nobody should. Because it's not true. It's a big mess. And if Jesus is a false prophet, nobody should be taking him serious. As a matter of fact, I believe God even says in Deuteronomy 13, he's going to send false prophets to test you to see if you'll stop keeping the law. And, if
But you
stop
don't
keeping
believe
the
that.
law.
But you don't believe that.
Don't believe what? That he said that?
What God said. Yeah, you don't believe it.
Because God says a whole bunch of stuff that don't come true.
But I'm just saying, it's just you don't believe anything. So I would ask, like, why?
I believe some of it. I believe what can be shown to be true.
You can't believe it. You're an atheist.
So, what?
You can't believe it. You're an atheist. You
I'm
can't
an
believe in
atheist
anything.
because I didn't believe it. I was a Christian
can't
until I was
believe in
27
anything.
years old.
I
Then I
understand.
actually started scrutinizing this book, and it fell the freak apart, man.
I understand, but you can't, as an atheist, you can't believe in anything. You can't have
I
faith
don't
in
know why
anything.
you keep saying that. What do you think an atheist is?
You don't believe in anything. What is an
I
atheist?
believe in a whole lot of stuff.
How?
Atheist just means you don't believe in God. You don't think gods are real.
You don't believe in
That's
anything.
it.
You can't have faith in anything. There's plenty of
What are
atheists
you
out there that
talking
claim they
about?
can't have
Who has
faith in anything.
brainwashed you into thinking you know what other people believe?
I guess other atheists.
Sounds like you're just kind of
There's
making up a
countless amounts
narrative
of.
and
I'm not.
imposing
There's,
it on them.
there's countless amount of atheists out there that have conversations with people that get
And they're
offended
just
at
like,
the
I'm
fact
an
that people
atheist.
think
I don't
that they
believe
have
in
faith.
nothing.
They don't believe in anything.
And where are you getting that
They
information
believe
from?
in they have proof in science.
Oh,
They
so
hold
they believe
strong.
in science,
True
don't
to
they?
science. They hold true to science.
So what exactly are you saying here? They don't believe stuff or they do believe stuff, but they don't hold to it?
They don't have faith in anything.
I got told by the last guy I had way more faith than he did in Jesus.
That's that guy's own personal journey in his
Oh.
faith.
So you don't
But I'm
think it
just
takes
saying,
more faith to be an atheist than it does to be a Christian?
well, if it takes faith to become an atheist, you're not an atheist.
I would have to agree. Yeah, we have logic and reason and stuff like that. We don't use faith. Faith is believing what you know is not true. It's
But if
the
you ask,
excuse
do you
people
think
give
that
when they
do you
don't
think
actually
do you
have a
think
good
you
reason
have
to
enough?
believe something.
You said you think you have to have a lot of faith to become an atheist, or however you
No,
put
the other
it.
guy said that.
Okay.
I'm just saying that was silly. I agree with you.
As what I'm trying to get at is like,
Yeah, I don't think
what
anybody
do
should ever
you?
hold the faith-based position because it's bogus. It's believing something without evidence. So, yeah. I hope I don't have any faith.
And I'm not just in God or gods or whatever other religion. I'm talking faith in general, faith in anything.
Yeah, I hope I don't have faith in anything.
You don't have faith in anything.
I don't want to. If I do, I would like to get rid of it.
Well, that's
Yes,
what
I
I said
believe what
earlier,
can
is that
be
y'all have
shown
faith
to
in
be
nothing.
true. Now, I don't believe
Okay.
anything just because I want to believe it. You can have faith in whatever you want to have faith in. It doesn't mean it's true.
Yes, you believe things to be true that are shown to you that you can actually prove that are true.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why a lot of them go off based off of science, because science is proving this to be true.
Yeah. So it
Okay, but
disproves
when I
this
said
because it proved other stuff to be
okay,
true.
but when I said earlier you have faith in nothing, you were kind of attacking that idea. You were saying how?
Yeah, I'm saying I do believe in a whole lot of stuff. You're saying I don't believe in nothing. I'm not even sure what you totally mean by that, but you said y'all believe in science, and then you kind of backpedaled on that and said, well, you kind of hold it.
Well, I just meant you believe in nothing, as in you have no faith
We
in
believe in no
anything
gods.
outside
That's it. That's the only difference.
this life.
We believe in one less God than you do.
Okay, but
That's
what
the
I'm
only
saying is
difference.
that you have no faith in anything outside of this universe, outside of this
Yeah, I know
time.
that, and I hope I don't. Faith-based positions should be abandoned immediately because they're based on faith and nothing else.
So why should they be banned? Why do you care?
Because you're holding a position that you cannot prove. It's a faith-based position.
But why do
I
you
have faith
care?
that you rob and punch old ladies in the street. Is that true? Is it?
No, it's not true.
Well, I have faith it is.
That's fine.
Is it?
That's you can
Is it? Or is it
you can
silly as
believe
fuck
that,
to me to
whatever.
for say something like that based on faith?
Well, the difference is like if you read a book about me that stated otherwise, and then you held that position, that's different. But you're reading a book. We're reading a book. We have faith in Jesus. We truly believe in him based off of what we're reading, based off of the historical evidence.
I think
And
you're
that's
basing it
where
more off what you want to read than what it's actually saying.
okay, my own personal faith. It doesn't have to do with Matthew 16, Ecclesiastes, none of that. My own personal reason as to why I believe simply is to do with the resurrection of Jesus Christ, the historical evidence.
Yeah, but
to
you
him
have
being a
faith in
person.
that.
But there's historical evidence
Like what?
that he was an actual person. Through
What's the historical
through
evidence that he died and came back to life?
through first of all through the witnesses, I believe over the
Okay.
400 witnesses, right? That was
Can you name
recorded
one of
down
those witnesses?
in manuscripts. Mary, the lady that was with
Mary didn't write anything down.
It's not Mary. Mary was a witness. The
She didn't write
disciples
anything
that
down.
the disciples that wrote stuff down.
The disciples didn't write anything either.
Okay.
You
I
know
mean,
who wrote the Gospels, right?
Who wrote the Gospels?
No one knows. They're completely anonymous. The
Okay.
names attributed to them are a matter of church tradition like 200 years later, like Ignatius.
Okay.
You didn't know that?
I mean, there's nothing I can really say. I mean, that's where
You didn't know
it
that,
kind of. I don't believe that to be true. No.
Well, it is true. You should look it up.
Okay.
You
I don't
look
believe
on
it.
a scholar page.
Show me where none of anybody that was accredited those Gospels, they did not write it.
Okay. You ain't gonna like this. here we go. Let's see. All right, so this is what pops up on the General O AI thing here. I just asked it who actually authored the Gospels. It says the Gospels are traditionally attributed to four authors: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. These individuals are referred to as the four evangelists, and while the Gospels bear their names, the exact authorship is a subject of debate among scholars. So why would they be debating something like that?
Where did you get that from? AI?
Yeah, just it's the first thing that popped up. Yeah.
Okay. Don't know why they'd be debating it. I don't believe them to be true. Who wrote Corinthians?
Maybe Paul. Paul's attributed to 7 of the 13 Pauline epistles. The other ones are forgeries.
So maybe Paul.
Paul wrote like Romans and Galatians and stuff pretty much for sure, because all the writing styles, the lingo, the theology, it all matches. But when you go to like 1 Timothy and 2 Timothy, they're completely different. It doesn't use a lot of the words he used. It changes theologies. That's how they know stuff like that's a forgery. But anyway, listen to this. It says, critical scholarship view. The majority of modern critical scholars hold that the Gospels were originally written anonymously by unknown Christian authors decades after the events they describe. The scholars argue that the authors likely drew on oral traditions and earlier written sources, like a hypothetical Q source for Matthew and Luke. The names Matthew, Luke, Mark, and John, according to this view, were later attached to the text in the 2nd century to lend them apostolic authority.
Yeah, so if it was written by someone who was either actively with them, listening to them, because Matthew was writing stuff down. While he was a disciple with Jesus, he was writing
If he
stuff
did,
down.
it didn't survive. That's not what we're looking at today.
Okay, so like the Sermon on the Mount, was Matthew not present writing stuff down?
Totally guesswork. Totally guesswork, man.
So it's a possibility
Like,
that
could you listen to? Could you listen just for example? Say you heard Trump give a speech. Do you think you could write down the speech you just heard accurately, even if you wrote it down right after it?
word for exact word, every little thing? Probably not. Can I write down the
Probably
the
not.
main
So
points?
imagine somebody living decades after the fact writing down a sermon that they wasn't there for.
Okay. So that would
I
mean
mean, that's literally what we're looking at right now.
So Matthew wasn't there.
But yeah,
Probably.
it's a mainstream scholarly position that the Gospels were all anonymous. They even tell us that Luke says himself he is not. It was not his account that he's writing down. It says it in the first paragraph of Luke. Oh shit! He disappeared. He might not have just dipped, but small reason to think maybe he had technical issues right there at the end. But anyway, the queues line back up, but I think I'm gonna have to jump off here and take a damn nap for a minute, and then we'll jump back on and do the regular morning spot. Assuming I ain't too tired. Tuesdays are usually decent days, I feel like. Yeah, either way, he bounced out of there. I don't think he's ever heard that before. Not shocking. Yeah, usually when somebody's never heard that the Gospels aren't Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, you can already tell they've never even looked into something like that. Thank you for the follow, Deanna. Ooh, we went up a lot of followers. Shit. Gained like 15 followers this stream. Hell, I'm glad I stayed up now. Why do I think so many people gave up their lives for Christ? Because they was delusional and believed it to be true. That's why I'm saying, if this crap's not true and you're giving up your life, it's a pretty dumb reason to give up your life. All right, I'll shut her down in a minute. So if y'all are talking with anybody in the comments there, go ahead and finish up with each other. Whatever y'all are saying, not too sure. That's why it's hard to tell if anybody's talking to me or other people in the chat there. We get a good mix in here, though. I say people like host you're an idiot, and then other people like host you're killing them. So, but we will be back, of course. Hell, maybe even here in a little while. Time, enjoy your night, buddy. I didn't even see you in there. And thank you, everybody. I had no idea we were going to have that good of a stream at this time of night, but hell, we had 40 people in here for a while, so I guess even late at night, it's still worth it. Shit. We jumped up 15 followers, too. 15 followers this stream, so that's pretty amazing. Like, look here. I'm sitting at 664 followers. Only need 2 more to get to that magic number, 666 followers. So we only need 2 more, so that's pretty cool. But I went to NanoCon, which is basically an atheist convention, back at the end of July, and I had like 60 followers. So I've gained 600 followers in the last few months, but 150 of those, like 175, came just in the last few days. So we're jumping up there, man. I guess lots of people like, however you look at it, either saying a hick from Alabama crush people in debates or get crushed, however you look at it. Either way, we're having fun up in here together. Either way. Ain't that right? Oh, yeah, the queue's huge. I don't know if anybody's actually still there. If you're waiting in the queue, I'm not going to bring anybody else up just yet. Let's just saying bye for everybody and letting everybody wrap up their conversations in here. If God is fake, why do I laugh at 666? I don't know. I guess to poke at Christians, I ain't sure. It is about Nero. Antichrist reacts. You too, buddy. I'll be back on. I do these every day, so this is my like 23rd day in a row now. So I've been doing hours a day, so it's basically more than a part-time job to me at this point. Not quite a full-time, but I don't make enough money to do it full-time. Hopefully I will one day, though. If actually I got rich doing this somehow or another, it'd blow my mind, but at the same time, I give a lot back. I put a lot back into people in the channel and charity and stuff. I would love that. Because my industry is, I guess it's the same as everybody right now, but it's kind of rough out there. Even though I'm getting by, so don't worry about that. But it is kind of rough out there. Anyway, if y'all are about finished up there, once again, I appreciate the shit out of all the engagement, all the comments, the likes, the shares, the follows. Can't believe... Oh! We only need 1 more follower to get to 666. So that's pretty neat. Somebody just followed me. I didn't see it, though. So whoever did that, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I still got the likes and stuff. It's pumping us out. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Oh, I love y'all's comment debates. They're awesome. And like I said, just in case you've never been here before, it's pretty much a free speech thing. Besides, of course, TikTok banned speech. There's nothing I can do about that. But like I say, you can come out here and call anybody anything you want. But if you look like an asshole, it's your own fault. So you can put whatever you're displaying up for the world to see. You'll get to see it here. America. I might not agree with what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. Pythagorean theorem. Wouldn't want to be 'em. I still see 'em, but I won't see 'em see 'em. Put 'em on song there. Yeah, I wish TikTok would let people write a little bit more of a sentence than the few words. You can get at least a few lines in there, I think. Shit. Thank you, Antichrist, for the likes there. All right, guys. I reckon I'm going to try to take a nap, and then we will be jumping back on and however long it is, sometime or another. I'm all for it till Saturday, so I'm going to be on a lot. Be on during scattered times, kind of. I usually just do morning streams for 3 or 4 hours a piece. But I'm off work, so we're going to be on a lot, just like I am tonight. We'll do some surprise sessions. Had some good combos. I think my superpower is that I'm so simple that you can't complicate me out of a argument. You'll have to show me in plain words and plain definitions. The feel bro stuff, that's hilarious. There's a big old argument while all this illogical stuff I just said is actually logical. Let me throw some big words at you. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off. I'm also about to wet myself, but I'm sort of getting drowsy. Actually, not really. I could keep going. But anyway, I need to jump off anyway. I gotta use the bathroom. But all right, guys, y'all have a good night. We will catch y'all again after a while. Thanks to everybody who showed up. I appreciate the hell out of you. Thanks for the moderation, Rick and stuff. Y'all fellers time. Have a good one. Good night.